Well, aloha! What's up, everyone? I'm JayDreamerZ, and today we're doing a segment called Truth in Movies. And this is where I basically share a movie that I've recently watched that I'm into, that I feel like there's a lot of symbolism in there. I'm rocking my shades today. These are like red tinted. It's like I'm practicing some light therapy stuff. But yeah, it makes it way easier on my eyes. So I might look weird and a little different today, but whatever. I like being weird and different. So what's up, everybody in the chat? I see everyone. Big Drink Tea, what's up? Let's see, who else? Let's see, somebody said something earlier. Who was that? Someone was talking about how they heard of this movie, Don't Look Up, and somebody recommended that they watch it. But she said, I'd rather just watch Jay break it down. Who was that? Let me see if I can find it here. Dang, I had it pulled up. I don't know where it went. Well, anyways, also got a donation from Great Hope, who says this movie literally puts it all out there. And I totally agree. This movie's mind-blowingly insane. How close to home it hits. If you haven't seen the movie, no problem. Let me break it down for you in about 5 seconds. This movie is Idiocracy had a baby with Armageddon. That's the whole entire movie, okay? I'm going to reference Idiocracy about 1,000,000 times during this breakdown because the stupidity, the audacity, the gall, the of the world that we live in today and how our politicians spin everything to their own benefit and to their own selfishness and ultimately to their own demise in this movie. That's what this movie is all about. So essentially, Leonardo DiCaprio. You guys ever accidentally do that? Leonardo DiCaprio is a scientist, along with the girl here. I forgot her name. But they're both scientists, and they discover a comet. And then they discover that the comet is headed towards Earth. And it's going to hit Earth. 100%. We're going to talk about it, though. Let's break it down. All right. So the movie starts off with a black screen. That's weird. Lights out. No light. But if you look at the captioning, there is a kettle whistling. I've actually pointed this out in a movie before, right? There's a few movies that start off like this, where there's a tea kettle that's going, whee. I can't do a tea kettle sound. But why? Why do movies like to start off with the tea kettle? Well, one, it creates a sense of panic and anxiety inside of us, because when we hear that sound, we're like, whoa, the pressure is being released. It's time to take the tea off the thing. I don't want it to get too hot or whatever. It's alarming, but it also symbolizes the pressure in our world being released or relieved, which is the start of the cyclical apocalypse that I call the plasma apocalypse or the plasma apocalypse cycle. Our world is depressurized, and that's why they show you that's why you hear the tea kettle and all of the steam and pressure being released from that tea kettle, making that sort of screaming sound. All right, so we start the movie off. We're in an observatory where the girl works, and man, I'm going to have to look up her name in a minute. We're going to break down her name. I totally forgot right now. But anyways, the first thing you see is that they zoom into this little image, this little toy of this guy, which is pretty interesting. We're going to come back to him in just a second. His name's Carl Sagan, and he's a pretty famous astronomer or astrophysicist or whatnot. He's been on all the PBS programs and whatnot. There's a handful of them, right? We have our puppets who tell us what to think, how to think, the way that it is. They break it all down for us so that you don't have to do any kind of research you don't have to think independently. All you have to do is say, some scientists they already proved that some astrophysicists have already discovered this and that. So they don't leave anything else new for us. They say, oh, we've already got all the answers. Here you go. Let us tell you what to think. So that's why they have that Carl Sagan there, and we're going to come back to him in a minute. Here's a picture of Carl Sagan, in case you don't know what he looks like. I heard he's the inspiration for Agent Smith, actually. It's exactly how he sounds. He sounds like Agent Smith. Our universe is vast and infinite. That's exactly how it sounds. Neo, Mr. Anderson. Anyway, so that's Carl Sagan. He's one of the talking heads. That's a big deal for me. that they put all these faces on television and on the news or whatever for you to listen to and for me to listen to just submit like, oh, whatever you believe, whatever, you know way more than I do. And that's a huge mistake we make as a society. That's why in the future, in the movie Idiocracy, all of society is retarded. They're dumb. They have like no IQ points at all because they've just grown up generation after generation doing what they've been told and programmed to do by the television. All right, so here's the girl astrophysicist. She's rocking out to some Wu-Tang. She kind of represents like, you know, the strange, the weird, the odd, the different. Hey, Martin, welcome to my channel, Martin. All right, so she's at this observatory. This laser is shooting up into the sky. She's looking for comets and stuff like that. In the background, they flash little tiny things in the movies that are full of symbolism, like this astronaut on the moon, which I could talk about that all day long. Okay, I'm not a big fan of we landed on the moon and all that fun stuff. But I'll save that for another video. But this astronaut sees the comet headed towards Earth and he's like, ah, crap. A little foreshadowing because she's about to discover a comet that's headed towards Earth. So Leonardo DiCaprio is sort of her protege, right? And she finds the comet. They don't know that it's headed towards Earth quite yet. So they're celebrating. They're like, yeah, we found a comet. Yes, this is awesome. This is what we're doing, you know? It's interesting to me that people get so excited. Like they want to find things. They want to find alien life. But then what are you going to do if you do find alien life? How are people going to react if you do find it? Because that's their entire job, is to find these comets or aliens or whatever it may be. But do the tables turn a little bit once they actually do find it? So he says, to Comet Dibiaski, cheers. All right, let's break down this word Dibiaski. It's kind of a weird name for a comet, and Hollywood chose the name purposefully because it's a descriptor and it's a part of the plot. It's a part of the message that they're trying to send to us. So there is a religion called Odinala. If you look this up, it says it comprises the traditional religious practices and cultural beliefs of the Igbo people of southeast Nigeria. Why is that important? Well, because part of that religious practice, they have these shamans that they call the Dibia. The Dibia, or Dibia, are the mystic meditators between the human world and the spirit world. They act as healers, scribes, teachers, diviners, and advisors of the people in the community. Now, the girl that found this comet right here, that's her name, Dibiaski, right? So she is an advisor to the people for the sky. She advises them about the sky. So Dibia, sky. That's where you get that name from. Let's see here. Hey, Theodore, welcome to my channel. Okay, so now the question comes up to the professor, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. The question is, how close is it going to get to Earth? Because they know it's, on its way towards Earth or whatever, but nobody even has it in their minds that the Earth is going to get hit by this thing. Nobody wants to believe that the end happens. Nobody wants to believe that we go through cyclical resets of our entire civilization time and time and time and time again. We forget about it and we get comfortable in our technology and living in the times of the gods and whatnot, like we kind of do now, right? Which is how the movie ends, you'll see. So he holds up that little thing. He says, well, we want to find out how close it gets to Earth. Well, what would Carl Sagan do? Well, that's interesting because that's a play off of the whole what would Jesus do thing. This guy, Carl Sagan, these bobblehead scientific advisors and academic speakers and whatnot, who have been chosen to be mascots for all of academics, all of science, okay? Even though I don't believe in, there's two kinds of science. There's the science that is referred to on television today, which is, this is what we are going to tell you what the truth is. You can't do any independent research or have any independent thoughts about it. Don't question us. We have top men on it right now, essentially. That's one kind of science. I'm not a fan of that kind of science. Then we have the other kind of science, which just simply means the accumulation of knowledge, the search for knowledge. I like that kind of science. But It gets weird because of the witchcraft that we speak in our world these days. All right, so what would Carl Sagan do? Carl Sagan, the talking head, the mascot for all of academics, at least throughout the 70s and early 80s, I would say, until he was replaced by the comedian Bill Nye the Science Guy. If you want to get your factual information from a comedian, okay, that's fine. It's up to you. Anyways, there's other ones too. But so, this girl is looking at the numbers, and she's the only one who's starting to panic because she sees that the numbers are getting closer and closer. She's like, Professor Mindy? Now, wait a minute. Why is this guy called Mindy, right? Leonardo DiCaprio plays Dr. Randall Mindy. Mindy is really mindy or mindful, right? He's a thinker. Randall, see how they spell it? Rand and then all. Randall comes from Old Norse, and it essentially means, Rand means shield or the rim, like the edge of a disc or something of that nature, right? So Rand, his name is, what was his name? Randall, Rand All. So all shield, which is what his first name means, mindful. He's mindful of the all shield, which on the greater scheme of things is the sky, okay? The great shield, the great protector of our world is the sky itself, and it has been throughout centuries and millennia, time and time again, the great sky god, the great protector, the thing that is up there protecting us, keeping us in a covered world, a world that is enclosed. It's a closed system that we live in, which is, why we have pressure, why we have weather and things like that. And it's also the reason that NASA says that the astronauts can't get to the moon, even though we've already gone. That's a whole nother subject. But because of the Van Allen belts that they discovered afterwards. Weird, right? Anyways, so the all sky watcher, essentially, mindful of the sky shield. That's what his name means. All right, so they're like, man, we just realized that this comet is going to hit the Earth. We have to tell somebody, right? That's the first thing we want to do as truth seekers, share the information. Why? Because we just revel and bask and glory and love the truth so dang much. We want others to be happy because truth, an honest answer, is like a kiss on the lips. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's something that's why I do what I do here. Not that I have the truth, but I enjoy the pursuit of it. So they call up this lady, and this dude's like, yeah, it's a Michigan State professor. His grad student are on the phone right now. So she's like, yeah, this is Dr. Calder. You pulled me out of a meeting where I had to tell my team I lost $8 billion in funding. Right? Lady, I'm about to tell you that the world is going to end. But this is how the movie starts. All anyone is concerned with, anyone in the government, anyone in politics, all of the politicians, all they care about is money. How much money do we have? How much money are we giving away? How much money are we losing? Why? Because money, like we talked about last time, is currency. Current is the energy and how that energy flows. Your energy, your spirit, your soul is energy. And we collectively have a current as we go to and fro, running about our daily lives. So they don't care about the end of the world. She's just like, I just lost $8 billion. Big deal. That's what my life's all about right now. Well, it might be about to change, but might not for some people. So he's like, she put me on hold. Isn't that typical? Isn't that typical that we have an emergency, something serious, something life-threatening, something drastic's happening, and all of a sudden you hear like that crazy hold music, and you're like, what the hell? Why am I on hold for? What's going on here? Like, how is it that I'm on hold? A long time ago, people used to actually answer the phones and have conversations with you, and they could get you to other people that could help. Now they just put people on hold. You're lucky if they ever come back. But anyhow, that's also the world that we live in today. So he says that she's the head of Planetary Defense Coordination Office. Is that a real place? She says the Planetary Defense Coordination Office. Boom. This is their logo. Yes, it is a real place. As you can see, they've got little watchtower. See a little tower there? Little bastion or whatnot, which actually represents the blue beam, but that's a different story. And they're watching the skies. And this right here, it's Latin. It says hic salvare diem. I believe that means here to save the day, right? They're here to save the day. We have these weird offices in our institutions of government and whatnot who do the thinking for us, who say, oh yeah, we've established the planetary defense coordination, blah, 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 blah. Why? What is it? Why do we need you to do that? Well, I'll tell you, the governments of the world are very interested in what happens in the skies. All of our great civilizations whose shoulders we stand upon, they all watched the skies. They were sky watchers all of the time. They built their entire civilizations around the clock of the sky and took it very seriously. Do we do that today? Nah. I mean, people look up. You'd be lucky if somebody could point out one star in the sky. Like, they could say, hey, that's the sun. Ha, good job. Oh, that's the moon. Oh, good job. What else? Anything else? That one. Yeah, they don't know. They don't know any of the stars. Like, it doesn't matter if their names aside, right? It's important for us to study the skies. One, prophetically, so that we can learn what's to come and read the stars and read the skies so that we can have direction and know where we're going, especially during nighttime. Anyway, let's move on. So she says, it's going to be a direct hit of Earth in 6 months and 14 days. And Dr. Mindy's like, isn't that an extinction level event? Ellie, remember? ELE from, what was it, Deep Impact? An extinction level event. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, I actually did a video. This is me up there in the corner, right up there. But I did a video about an extinction level event. It was called, Was Evidence for an Extinction Level Event Found at the New Mexico Sunspot Observatory? You may remember this a few years back. They had to shut down this New Mexico observatory that had its eyes on the sky or whatever. And then, in addition to shutting down this one particular observatory, they went and they shut down like 6 other observatories. And I'm like, why? What is it that they have seen up there that they want to shut down all operations at all these different observatories around the world? Well, the official story turns out to be, after, a couple of weeks of making us, the people, wait to see, like, what's going on? Why'd you shut down the observatories? Oh, the official story is that they found some child pornography or something on some guy's laptop at one of the observatories. Okay, like, nah, I'm sorry. It doesn't even sound believable. It sounds ridiculous, but whatever. Hey, that's the official story. If you're, into official stories, then good for you. I'm totally not. I don't believe that. I think that sounds like garbage. Sounds to me like they found something. They saw something. They didn't want people to know about it, so they went to those places that had a record of it and shut them down to conceal whatever it was that was discovered, right? Anyhow, so this lady is like, remember the doctor's like, isn't that an extinction level event? And the lady's like, well, let's not be dramatic here. Let's not be dramatic. Really? Let's not be dramatic. This is the theme of this movie, right? All of the people who have money, wealth, they're in positions of power, they have prestige because of their titles or whatnot. They're afraid. They're terrified of all of that wonderful wealth and goodness being ripped away from them because of some drama, like the world ending. Yes, it is dramatic. So yes, let's be dramatic. Anyways, we'll get back into that in a minute. So this guy, he's like, one of the lead NASA guys. I forgot. He'll tell us in a minute. He gets on the phone and he's like, we need to share this data immediately with Cambridge, Caltech, IAU, etc. And then the girl who's in charge, she's like the politician lady. She's like, she's the head of NASA. Yeah, so she's the head of NASA. And she goes, wait a minute. This is classified information. This guy's like, let's tell everybody because everyone's going to die. And this lady's like, No, this is classified. You can't just go around sharing this information. Why? Because information is power. Information can be used and determines action, right? Well, their power is not in money. Their power is in currency or energy or your actions. They control the actions of the populace, of the population. So they don't want that drama. They don't want to talk about losing their slaves and whatnot and their positions. So Leo DiCaprio starts freaking out, or Dr. Mindy, and he says, "Kate, this isn't real, right? This is just some sort of alternate reality, right?" And she's like, "I gotta go get high," and like, which understandable. Everyone's gonna have various reactions to these types of things when they think about it. The problem is, excuse me, my problem would be, I would like to be sober-minded. When the world is ending, I'd like to have my wits about me. I'd like to be able to dodge stuff falling out of the sky or, tidal waves or whatever it is. Some people don't care. And I respect all of the opinions, however you guys feel about the end of the world. Some people want to just get high and literally float up in the air and laugh and have a good time and watch the pretty colors and lights. I love that. Go for it. Some people are terrified. Some people are like, I don't want to talk about that. Whatever. There's various viewpoints. Also, this is a symbolic reference to, according to my research, I believe it's a fact that many people are going to get high at the end of the world no matter what, because nature is going to release various gases, specifically like nitrous oxide clouds and whatnot, that are created by this depressurization event, when the plasma above mixes and hits and collides with all of those elements that are escaping our world, and they create new elements, etc. I think a lot of people are going to be feeling pretty good on cloud 9 at the end of the world. So, yes, Leo's like, what is this? Is this a joke? Is this real? And what? Oh, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. Yes, bro, it can be happening. This is what you study. This is what you went to school for. This is what you research. You know the odds that it's not impossible, that it has happened before many times, that rocks, or whatever, like, I'm not going to get into what I think comets are and stuff like that right now, because I'm more along the lines that they're electromagnetic in nature, not snowballs flying around in space or whatever, setting on fire when they get close to the sun. He's like, this can't be happening. No, this can't be happening. Well, you should have watched my channel a few times, I guess, Leo. Or done some studying. Prepare yourself, man. See, this is why it's good to study what's known as eschatology, or the end of life as we know it on this world, in this realm. All right, so they get into the airplane. There's a bunch of red lights. The red light symbolism is also a key indicator that we're talking about an apocalyptic event, because the sky turns red after this depressurization. We go from blue sky to a red sky and vice versa. Then they show you a close-up of the White House. Now, I was just checking this out. It's kind of a side thing, but we talked about the Mandela effect, and I clearly remember there being some kind of a dome up here on the top. And someone pointed out that there was one in Superman where he carries the dome with the flag on it, right, like back to the roof. So I look it up, right? I'm like, well, here's the regular White House. That's clearly not a dome. That's just a little pyramid-looking thing. Let's look at Superman. Superman is right up here, flying, holding onto the flag, and there's a little dome right there. And he puts the dome back onto the White House. Interesting. And yeah, that's the introduction to the movie Don't Look Up. And we're going to talk about why it's called Don't Look Up as well. It's actually pretty deep. All right, so here's the president. The president is this lady right here. And they're like, hello, Madam President, blah, blah, blah. This guy's trying to introduce himself. All of her people just like sort of dismiss the people who were there, these two, to tell her, hey, the world's going to end in 6 months. They totally ignore these people. They make them sit there all day long. And he's like, come on, man, what the hell? This is real world. Like, this is important stuff. Now, this guy is the president's advisor or whatever. I don't know. He's some top political person next to the president. He's also the president's son in the movie. So he's basically nobody. He's not anyone that deserves any kind of a position of power, but because he's related to the person who's in power, he gets some sort of little, hand-me-down power himself. He's like, yeah. No, I know. We need 5 minutes, bro. you're going to see how retarded this dude is. Excuse my language. I don't know if that's offensive, but anyways, you're going to see this guy right here represents where everyone is going. Like all of the people who were born in different eras, you know what I mean? It's like the further along we go, that road, that wide road of stupidity grows and grows and grows. Like, for example, on a side note, I was playing this video game, Fortnite. You know, it's something I do to try to ground myself and escape all this craziness. I just go kill a bunch of people on the computer or on my Nintendo Switch. But anyways, my point is, God, I can't stand it. They play these characters, they'll kill someone and then they'll like start dancing and playing some dumb music. I mean, maybe I'm just getting older. However, like, I can remember a time when people actually had lyrics. Nowadays, it's like a 5-year-old wrote the song. It's just one sentence over and over and over and over. Ugh. And it shows me, it's an indicator of where our society is going, what we're interested in, what we find, what distracts us, essentially. So, president's in there, they're having a little birthday party. They don't care about hearing this end of the world news. And then this guy's like, wow, social media is blowing up right now. Not about news of the end of the world. It's about that singer, Riley Bina, and DJ Cello breaking up. They just found out the world is going to end in 6 months, and Twitter, you know, the movie's version of Twitter or whatever, is blowing up. They're like, oh, did you guys hear? Riley Bina and DJ Cello broke up, blah, blah, blah. Remember when we were breaking down They Live? And all of those alien people were just talking about the dumbest, most stupidest, like, who cares kind of crap? That's exactly what's going on here. They don't want to talk about the end of the world. They don't want to talk about real depth, something that is actually detrimental to life itself. They want to talk about the latest drama about singers and stupid stuff, who I could care less about. I've never been the type of person who cares about popularity, prestige, who somebody is, you know, people in their fame can go kick rocks. Like, I'm not impressed whatsoever. Let's see. So this guy, this general, he goes and gets some free snacks and brings them out. And he's like, man, they charge an arm and a leg for this stuff. $10 a piece ought to do it. And then the general leaves later on. She gets hungry again. So she goes into the refrigerator and she grabs the exact same snacks, a water bottle and some chips or something. And some random lady's there. And she's like, excuse me, where do I pay for these? And she's like, what? It's free. It's the White House. The snacks are free. So she's like, he charged us for the snacks, but they're free. Why is this important? Because this is the government. The government, they chose to have a government representative charge somebody and lie to them for something that's totally free, something that they could have for themselves. She had water and food. Newsflash. Water and food are already free. The earth grows it. It makes it. It's all over the place. But we're not used to actually receiving from Mother Earth. We're used to giving away our rights and our freedoms to these governments who now say it's a benefit for us to have water and to eat and other things that should be natural freedoms because they just exist naturally in the world. Now all of a sudden it's a benefit and we depend on them to provide that benefit to us. That's the symbolism behind that. Now, here's the president's right-hand man. He's like, hey peeps, it's not looking like it's going to happen tonight. Do you hear how he's talking already? Peeps. Like, bro, are you Justin Timberlake? Or like, who are you? What do you mean peeps? Why are you even calling me peeps? Like, this is our world. This is the direction that our world is headed in because of all of the social media that we have, because the more the population grows, the more diluted the truth becomes, the more diluted everything becomes. The waters of life become super diluted. So Mother Nature knows this and regulates from time to time. So this girl who found the comet, Kate, she's on the phone with her boyfriend. And she's telling him, yeah, the president never even called us into her office. I couldn't believe it. And this guy, her boyfriend, is like, of course they didn't call you in. Kate, have you watched the news today? She's like, nah, I've been pretty wrapped up in our project. basically, like, I could care less about anything that you call news at this moment in time. I'm studying something and researching something that's a bit more impacting physically. Actually, he's like, turn on your TV right now. You got to hear this. So some senator or whatever he is, some congressman or whatever is on the news. And he's like, this guy was a former nude model. Oh my God. Oh, let's all talk about it. Let's all talk about how he was a former nude model. Oh my God. Who cares? I don't care. I could care less about what Clinton did with so-and-so, Monica Lewinsky. I don't care. These people are human. They have sex. Oh my God. Surprise, surprise. Wow. Jesus Christ. Like, I don't care. It's not interesting to me. I'm not a part of their personal lives. It has no bearing on me whatsoever. And this is just me. Okay. You guys, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, that's you. Fine. Whatever. I don't care. That's why I don't watch WWF or WWE or whatever soap operas and dumb stuff, like, because this is all that. All of these politics and the stuff that people are into, like, what's that one? Let's go, Brandon. And, you know, like, everyone's like, oh yeah, like, let's go, Brandon. Haha, what a catchy slogan to show how much I support this guy instead of that person. I don't care. It's irrelevant to me. I don't care about your catchy slogans. I don't care about which colors you use to represent your parties or whatnot. I don't care about how often you party. I don't care about what goes on politically, because it's government. It's mind control. It's something that is there to tell you what to do, how to live, how to think. And then they pretend like, oh, here, why don't you tell us, why don't you write it down on a secret piece of paper and slip it into a little box in a covered room, and I promise we're going to go over that and take it to heart, and we'll make some changes in this country. Stop. Don't do that. Come on. Anyway, so this guy is like a journalist at some gossip column type news place or whatever, and he's like, I found 5 former students who are willing to go on record that this politician got noticeably aroused when he posed for their drawing class. He's telling this girl about it as if this is a bombshell, right? This is a bombshell in life. She literally discovered a comet that and knows that the world is going to end. And this guy's talking about some politician getting aroused at some art class or something. This is all ridiculous. This is a waste. If you put your energy into this, oh God, like, wow, please. I can't. I refuse. I won't. I think it's ridiculous. They're children. These are like children to me. This is real, okay? I mean, it's a movie, but it's real, and you know it's real, okay? The movie is reflecting real life, and these are the types of morons who people put their faith and their hope in and believe in, and when they're like, yes, listen to our talking heads. Here's the science behind it, and we've got top men working on it right now. Anyway, so this guy goes on. Now, should I say noticeably aroused or engorged? Because I don't want this to read like clickbait. Bro, it is clickbait. All of what you do, your entire job is clickbait. Your entire job is to distract the public from actual feeling, from actual independent thought. Their goal, places like this, is to numb you, to make you insensitive. They're there to desensitize you. And that's she's mind blown right now. She's like, and her boyfriend's like, I mean, this is like a real article. Isn't that insane? People who think that they're talking or doing or researching or representing or supporting something that they consider to be so important, when in the grand scheme of life, it's just not, So here's the president. They zoom in on this picture of her with some karate Hollywood guy. And the president starts off, because she finally is listening to them. She's like, yeah, I heard there's an asteroid or a comet or something that you don't like the looks of. Right? Automatically has an attitude. Automatically taking up the stance like, you're bothering me. You're wasting my time. This isn't worth my time. And then they start telling her, well, approximately 36 hours ago, we found this. And then they zoom in onto the president. She's just like twirling her hair and like clearly not listening, totally uninterested in what the scientists are trying to talk to her about. So Dr. Mindy's like, PhD candidate Kate DiBiase here discovered a very large comet. And she's like, oh, yeah, good for you. Hey, good for you. Congratulations, right? Maybe it's better to remain quiet and to listen instead of jumping in and congratulating and this and that. This is the society we live in, you know? Oh, and that's another thing that people do too, especially those who are in positions of power, in order to regain control. Because right now she's about to lose control, or she's going to try to keep the control. But right now she's the president. She has a lot of control. What these people do when they start to lose control is they will try to get rid of the person, discredit the person, or compliment the person. Just like in They Live, when we broke down They Live. Remember how the aliens, the people who had the potential to expose the aliens, they just bought them off. They just paid them money and gave them raises and stuff like that. So that's what the president's doing now. Oh, good for you. Because what are we trained to do when somebody gives us a compliment? Immediately feel, oh, well, thank you. Oh, yes, that's right. I did discover this comment. And bring you into the selfishness that they are in themselves so that you can be on their team. He's like, a comet between 5 to 10 kilometers across. She's like, whoa, what the hell is this? Oh, yeah, she's like, what the hell is this? And then her son jumps in and he's like, I'm so bored. Just tell us what it is. God, well, what the hell, man? I'm so bored, blah, blah, blah. This is how politics really works. This is how your society worldwide works, okay? Everyone out there has had, like Red Bulls and sugar every meal of the day to the point where they're just distracted by pretty colors. They can't listen. They can't soak it in. They can't allow information to marinate for a bit. They definitely will not do any kind of independent study. Guys like this just want to be told. Just tell me right away. Just tell me, give me the black and white. What is it? What is it? What is it? Right? So she comes right out and she says, what Dr. Mindy's trying to say is there's a comet headed towards Earth. That object is going to hit the Pacific Ocean. So this guy's response is, then what happens? Like a tidal wave? Like, how are these people in these positions of power when they can't even understand or put it in their minds of what happens whenever something that's 10 miles across, that's solid rock, allegedly, will smash into the world? What happens then? Like a tidal wave? That's because he's watched too many movies. Like a tidal wave, is that it? Right? That's his response. He says, no, it's going to be far more catastrophic. There will be mile-high tsunamis fanning out across the globe. If this comet makes impact, it will have the power of 1 billion Hiroshima bombs. There will be magnitude 10 or 11 earthquakes. He's like, whoa, bro, you're breathing weird, man. It's making me uncomfortable. Yes, these people, this frustrates me. Like, just talking about and seeing this. It makes people like this uncomfortable to hear something that hits home. Anytime that you throw a wrench into their little system, especially if they have a good life, you know, they're wealthy, they have positions of power, they have little titles that, you know, little badges that they can hold on to and show off. And all of a sudden that's threatened by the truth. They're like, whoa, man, like, I don't really like where you're coming from. I don't like your attitude. I'd rather just be free and not worry about things at all. That's the world we live in today. He says, I know, but it's so stressful. I'm trying to like listen, right? And Dr. Mindy's like, I don't think you understand the gravity of the situation. And as you can see, he starts rubbing his nose because this character insinuates essentially that he's been doing like coke all night or something. That's how they're making him look. Okay. Either that or he's got a sinus infection or whatever, but look at him, right? Like, look how he looks. They chose to have him look all scruffy and beat up and look like he's been up all night partying and stuff like that. They did that purposefully. Anyways, so this guy comes in. He's got a little bit of weight with academia. He's like, Madam President, this comet is what we call a planet killer. There is 100% certainty of impact. She's like, please, Don't say 100%, okay? Can we just call it like a potentially significant event? Now, you see what they're doing right here? Do you see what they're doing? They were just told, this is a guarantee. This is 100% going to happen. And she's like, oh, don't say 100%. Don't say 100%, right? Why? Because she doesn't want to be the president that gives bad news to the people. There's got to be some sort of way that she can spin it and create hope and make herself to look like some sort of a hero or something. That's why she doesn't want to talk about the end of the world. And this guy over here is like, let's just change the way that we word it. Well, isn't that interesting? That's witchcraft. Okay, that's spellcraft. When people reword things like that to suit their own agendas. Excuse me. So he says, can we just call it a potentially significant event? And then Kate kicks in and she starts getting livid. I love this character. She's like, but it isn't potentially going to happen. It's going to happen. Exactly. It's 99.78% to be exact. He's like, oh, okay, great. All right. So it's not 100%. They don't think. None of these people, these are your politicians, leaders, people who are running things, making you pay taxes and get insurance and all this other weird stuff that you probably shouldn't be doing. If I was in charge. But anyways, he's like, yeah, okay, cool. So it's not 100%. So, wow, good. Like, why are we even here? Why are we even talking about this? She's like, let's call it 70% and let's just move on. But it's not even close to 70%. So the politicians are taking the truth, twisting it, manipulating it, keeping a little bit of truth in there just in case they get caught, just in case something happens. Then they could say, hey, I mean, we said that there was odds. Like, this is how they work. This is how our world revolves. And then the president says, you cannot go around saying to people that there's 100% chance that they're going to die. It's just nuts. It's just nuts. Why not? That is the truth. It is a 100% chance all the people watching this are going to die. At some point in time, it's going to happen. Okay? Everyone dies. We are born, we live, we die, we're born again, we continue the process and the cycle. People don't like to talk about death. Jesus, man, death should be taught like as a course in elementary. It should be taught. Death 101. Like, here's what you can expect. Okay? Let's give your life some purpose because you're not going to live forever. And yet they want us to feel like we are. And that's ridiculous to me, especially because we don't even live that long anymore. We used to live according to ancient religions and stories and whatnot. We used to live for hundreds and hundreds of years. Now we live for like 80, 70, 65, somewhere around there. So she says, we should get some of our scientists on this, no offense, but you're just two people that walked in here. This is also what they do. They want, let's have Carl Sagan get on Sesame Street and tell the children exactly what to think because he's Carl Sagan. Or Bill Nye, the science guy. Let's have him research this comet that's hurtling towards Earth. Or what's that other one? I forgot that other one's name. Dang. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Whoo, buddy, man. I want to do a whole thing on just those three mascots. Those academic mascots, which is what they are, by the way. They're just talking heads. They're mascots. They're representatives of the people behind them, who pay their salary. Did you guys know Bill Nye the Science Guy just started off as a comedian? And Bill Nye the Science Guy was a character that he created, making up the name and everything for a skit. He's not really Bill Nye the Science Guy. God, that irritates the crap out of me. I used to like that dude, but that's before I started researching myself. So he's like, I'm Dr. Oglethorpe. Remember, I'm sitting here. And she's like, yeah, Dr. Ogilvy. Yeah, whatever. She's not paying attention. This is the problem, okay? From the highest levels of government all the way down to your average person, we have lost the ability to cognitively follow, to listen, to consider what is being presented to us, what we see, what we hear. He says, I've been head of planetary defense at NASA for 15 years. So now he's trying to speak her language. He's trying to throw around his credentials, right? And Dr. Mindy is a tenured professor of astronomy at Michigan State. Then they zoom in on her with her arms crossed. Her fingers look a little tight, right? Obviously, she's not liking where this is going. They're insisting on the bad news. She doesn't want the bad news. People don't ever want to talk about it. That's doom and gloom. Why are you trying to bring people? That's fear porn, talking about the end of the world. No one wants that. You're bringing everyone down. Yeah, well, sorry to break it to you, but it's a reality. Okay? It's called eschatology. It's the study of the end of things. And it's real. It has happened before. If you simply open up your literature and you look at the world around you, you will find evidence all over the place that these things do happen. He goes on to say Miss DiBiase is a doctoral candidate. And he's like, oh, good. I'm sorry. Did you say Michigan State? Really? It's like sports, right? All of your colleges, all of your schools that you go to, everyone is so proud of where they go or who they represent. And all of those other schools are just garbage, and it extends. Can't we see this pattern? Can't we see this pattern of planting our flags, putting on our team jerseys, and representing something other than ourselves? That's your politicians. And he's like, come on, bro. Come on. Really? Come on. Really? This is an intellectual conversation in the world that we live in today, unfortunately. Come on, bro. Really? Really? Frustrates the hell out of me. And so she chimes in. She's like, are you kidding? You want to see my fucking SAT scores? Huh? Like, why are we having a discussion about this? I discovered the damn comment, right? So the president's like, let's bottom line this. What's this going to cost me? What's the ask, right? So this is her mindset. She doesn't care about saving people. She doesn't care about helping people. She doesn't care about alerting everyone so they can prepare and survive and life goes on. No. She's like, well, I'm always out to get something, so these two must be out to get something as well. That is who we are up against. The people who are only in it for themselves. The reason they don't like you is because you haven't joined their team, so they feel like you're in it for yourself as well. There are the givers and there's the takers in life. So this guy's like, listen, we got to act now. We got to do something. This is the truth, okay? The movie aside, stop, time out real quick. The movie aside, we have to do something. Okay, the time to act is right now. This is cyclical. The world goes through various cataclysms. I think that survival, personally, is something that should be taught to people. Now, if it's taught in school systems or whatever, fine, great, wonderful. I'm not a big fan of that. But somebody should be teaching about it. Somebody should be sharing how to survive, where to find clean water if it's not at Walmart, being sold in a carton or a plastic bottle for $5 a pop. Where are you going to find clean water? Simple things to live, to continue, to grow, to survive and live on. So she starts worrying. She's like, if this breaks before Congress, we're gonna lose Congress before the midterms. Then there's gonna be nothing that we can do about it. This timing is atrocious. Oh, I'm so sorry. The end of the world is just coming at such a bad time for you, right? Guess what? That's when it happens. That's what all of the great wise men of the times past have said. This is gonna happen when you least expect it. When the world least expects it. There's a calm before the storm. And that storm's on its way. The timing is just ridiculous. And look at him. He's like, I have so much money. I could just do what I want and act like an idiot. Right? Here's a picture of her, President Clinton, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, at this very moment, I say we sit tight and assess. Freudian slip. We sit tight and assess. Okay, sit tight and assess. That is politically correct mumbo-jumbo jargon spellcraft that our governments hurl your way that doesn't mean anything. Let me translate this for you, just like I translated the president in They Live, right? When he was giving all that mumbo jumbo. At this very moment, I say we sit tight and assess. That means stop talking about this. I don't like it. This is getting in the way of my prosperity. So why don't you just go away and you do your thing and I'll do my thing. That's what she's saying. She's saying, I don't care about this at all. I care about my money. I care about my pearl necklace. I care about all the things that I have in life. She says, let's get some other people on this. You know, some Ivy Leaguers. Yeah, some Ivy Leaguers, some people who are already ingrained in the system, who care about politics, who all have political agendas. They're not independent researchers like these two are. So Kate says, am I to understand correctly that after all the information you've received today, the decision that you're making is to sit tight and assess? He's like, this guy is like, I'm sorry, who is she? She's like, who the fuck are you? Aren't you her son? I love this part of the movie because she totally calls him out. She's like, who are you? Are you some kid? Some freaking kid whose mommy is the president? What do you mean, who am I? I'm the one that discovered the comet, right? And he's like, I'm the fucking chief of staff, boy with the dragon tattoo. Now, this is all supposed to be like the funny comic relief portion of the movie. Unfortunately, this is reality. I don't find it to be funny whatsoever. It's not even a funny reference. It's not funny whatsoever. He's insulting her by calling her the boy with the dragon tattoo. One, she's a girl. Two, that she looks different than, you know, normal people, like this idiot who dresses with a suit and a tie, wearing his monkey suit or whatever, in his slave job, wearing a jacket when there's no inclement weather. You're an idiot. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, I wear my jacket to look nice. It's very professional. Why do you wear a jacket? I don't know. Why do you have a tie on? What's the tie for? I don't know. It's a piece. Don't ask me anything. Don't ask me anything. Stop it. That's essentially our government. That's the people of the world in general, in mass today. He's like, I'm doing fine. Okay. I've got a title. I've got money. I've got all like people listen to me. I'm doing pretty good. Okay. Who are you? You're nobody. Nobody knows who you are. Who cares? She's like, we got to get out of here. This place is a freak show. She says that in the presidential Oval Office, does not care about all of the pomp and glory and stuff. She's like, nah, man, I see right through. This place is garbage. And it reminds me of the presidential office in Idiocracy. It's the exact same thing. These people are just cartoonified versions, okay, embellished versions of the reality. Your presidents, your prime ministers, your kings, your queens, all these people that you put in charge have little to no education because they're just being handed life on a silver platter, and they're puppets who are repeating what the real powers who are hidden, or the hidden hand of what they say to do in order to control the people, the masses, the population. So you get presidents that are more like WWF wrestlers than they are intellectuals, compassionate people, caring people. They put on a show. They put on a facade. Okay? All of this that you watch for entertainment. You don't watch because you care. You don't watch because you're investing all of your time in your side and like, you know, we are going to do this and we are going to do that. Nah, we aren't. They are. You're not going to do a damn thing. It's them. They're the ones who are doing it. Anyway, he's like, is that the idea of sitting tight? It's extremely dangerous to just sit tight. She's like, oh my God, one good thing happened today. Oh, good. And she has a cigarette. She's like, doesn't even care. She's oblivious, right? I had to sneak cigarettes for the whole first month of my campaign because, you know, like photos of me smoking went for what, like $100 a pop. Do you hear the garbage? It hurts my ears to even repeat these lines from the movie because it's real, because this really happens. This is going to happen. Eventually, one of these days, something's going to happen. Someone's going to get on here. I know I'm going to get on here and I'm going to share with all of you, hey, check out the signs. I've seen the signs. I've heard the signs. I look around the world and I see what's going on and it's leading somewhere. Something's going to happen. Something bad is going to happen to this world, or something good, depending on how you look at it. That's why I can say it with a smile on my face. So she's talking about gibberish and nothing and garbage. Putrid, queen of slime, queen of putrescence. So she goes on, I'm always hiding, but I just got sick of it. Then she's got a picture of Mariah Carey. Why? What does a singer have to do with anything, right? Why do we care about what the singers think about politics? Who cares? I care I care just as much about what the singer thinks of whatever they follow and whatever they believe in as I do the politicians. They're actors. They're jokes. They are garbage in my backyard. They're, to me, that's just my personal stance on it, right? You guys can feel how you'd like to. Hey, I got a donation. Thanks, XGen. Appreciate you. Great Awakening donation. Departing hop on y'all. Show this man loving. Thank you. All right, so let's move on, right? So Mariah Carey, all the celebrities, all the singers and stuff, that actually comes into play too. So she starts smoking and her polls go up. She's like, I went up 3 points in the poll because I showed people that I was edgy and I smoked and I'm the president that smokes or whatever. That's all they care about. Analytics, statistics, they're robots. Okay? We create these robots who may end up taking over and killing everybody one day. That's a totally different video. But we act like these things. We don't have humanity anymore. We don't have compassion anymore. It's very few and far between in my book. This kid, who is her son, says, I can't think of any president I'd ever want to see in Playboy. The hell? Yeah, they don't have lines anymore. Like it's all gray area. Like there are no hard lines in this world any longer. And that's one of the signs that we're nearing the apocalypse. That's one of the signs that we're nearing a cyclical reset that happens. There are no more lines. There are no more boundaries whatsoever. I'm not talking about boundaries of like borders between Mexico and America or something stupid like that. I'm talking about clear-cut, ethical, moral boundaries. They're just gone. People don't care. This kid can talk about his mom being in Playboy and how he wants to check her out all he wants. And he feels like if anyone bashes him, that the system is going to protect him, that he can say any retarded, idiotic stuff that he wants to because, oh, what are you, racist? Are you racist now, huh? And then all of a sudden there people start throwing out these words and accusations about the truth seekers who just pointed out the blatant, obvious facts. She goes, you know how many the world is ending meetings I've been through over the years? Alien invasion, population growth, hole in the ozone layer. And then this guy's like, you do understand this is an apocalyptic event. It's going to happen. And then the son's like, hey gang, obviously everything we talked about here is super classified, right? Okay. All right. Thanks for dressing up. Goes to like pound it or whatever. Like, I don't know about you guys. I know pounding it is very popular amongst the youth of today. And even, when I was a kid, I don't like that. Okay. It's a gesture of violence, believe it or not. I know I'm analytical, so I'm just going to share my personal thoughts. You are punching somebody else and they're punching you to show we are warriors. We are Spartans. We are, whatever. We're tough. We're hard. Instead of a hug, an embrace, an open palm, an open hand, they do this pound it garbage and act like I'm tough. You're tough. All right. Right on. We're both tough. Peace out, bro. That's the world that we live in today. And then he's like, thanks for dressing up, right? Who cares? Who cares about dressing up for the president? I don't. Who cares about dressing up to go to church? Oh my God. I got kicked out of what I call a Steve Harvey church here in Colorado Springs, where everyone in there is dressed up with leather shoes, pinstripe outfits, hats, some of them have feathers and stuff. Like I'm not kidding whatsoever. This was probably 15 years ago. But I was invited by my cab driver, so I happily went. I literally was kicked out. This dude leaned over. He's like, hey, brother. Hey, listen. You can't be dressing like that in God's house. I was wearing surfer shorts and a t-shirt. I don't know what I was wearing. But this idea that we have to dress up for someone else just because they have some sort of prestigious role that they play in society. I mean, be yourself. Be worried about your hygiene. Be worried about, look at this dude. Does he look like he's got good hygiene? No. Is he dressed up? Yes, he is. I would rather hang out and be in proximity to and talk to and relate with somebody that dresses more like myself but has good hygiene. They smell good, they're clean, they brush their teeth, they take care of their bodies, right? Yeah. Thanks for dressing up. Oh, and you got to look good for the Lord. Get the boy, get out of here with that one. Don't do that. You got to look good for the Lord, because the Lord's really concerned about, your Gucci and your Prada and, what kind of garbage you wear on your bodies. I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear you sing and rap about it. I got Gucci on my wrist. You sound stupid. Okay? Whoever all of you out there are, this is just me talking, but you sound dumb and I'm uninterested. I don't care whose name you have on your shirt. I think that it's retarded that you're walking around in $1,000 pairs of pants instead of something that feels better, is more comfortable, and is way cheaper. It doesn't sound like you're very wise. So I know I'm just going off now because it gets to me. All right, so they're about to put the doctor onto the train, and they're like, you know what? The president didn't listen to us. Let's go leak it to the news. And this guy gives them advice. He's like, listen, just keep it simple, okay? No math. Don't talk about the math behind the end of the world. And this guy's like, but it's all math. This is actually crucial. Let's talk about this real quick. Keep it simple. Why? Because he's going to be addressing the general public. The general public, I'm sorry, please forgive me, is dumb. Okay? Not very intellectual at all. They're like babies. They're like children. Okay? All they care about is amusement. He says no math. Why? Because math requires critical thought. Math requires going from one step to another step. He's like, don't talk about math. If you talk about the specifics of it, people will not listen. I guarantee you, I would not even have half as many subscribers if I didn't have, beautiful looking little graphics and, sometimes there's cool flashy lights and stuff like that. If I just talked about the mechanics of the end of the world and I just gave a presentation on it, yes, some people would be interested and they would, they'd be there and they'd subscribe or whatever. But a lot of people won't. They won't, sadly enough. Even me, okay? There are no more boundaries. He says it's all math. All right, now, excuse me. Gotta take a drink. I've got this new green drink. I'm trying to detox my body. So I'm drinking this leafy greens and stuff. Oh, and my buddy gave me a juicer today too. So that's pretty cool. Shout out to Aquaman. All right, back to the movie. So basically they're going to introduce their version of Elon Musk or Facebook. What's that weird guy with the soulless eyes who owns Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. Anyways, they're going to give you their version of Mark Zuckerberg here in a minute. And the company's name is Bash. And so they have God holding out a cell phone, and they're like, it all started with a connection. And they've got this huge auditorium. See, this is something they do, right? This could be church. This could be a TED Talk. This doesn't matter what it is. They play upon your emotions. They use magic. They use spellcraft and witchcraft and sorcery and all kinds of things. Wherever they can use, from the colors to the sounds to the timing, everything is used to manipulate you. It all started with a connection. A simple gesture that created so much. That's exactly how the dude sounds. Now, that vibe, you wouldn't want to buy this brand new cell phone. This is all a cell phone commercial. That's all this is. Buy a new cell phone. Consume, obey. That's all this is. If that guy had a different voice and I said it like this, it all started with a connection and it was a simple gesture. It just created so much. You don't want to buy that phone now, do you? You sure don't. But if the movie guy gets on and is like, it all started with a connection, a simple gesture that created so much. Now it's like, whoa, what's going on? What is this? Wow, it's God's phone. Wow, they're selling God's phone. I gotta have it, right? So many choices. Sometimes it can even feel like too many choices. Then they're like, let there be life. And they say, introducing Bash Life. That's the name of their new cell phone, Bash Life. Destroy obliterate, smash, bash life. Make fun of life. Bash it. Like, they don't care. It's the opposite of actual life. Isn't that weird? Isn't that stupid? This is the real world, though. They might as well be showing you Facebook, okay? Because Facebook doesn't show you real frickin' life. Neither does Instagram. Neither does any of them. They don't show you actual real life. Nobody's going to be like, hey, here's a picture of me when I first woke up. Yeah, they don't do that. Everyone has an appearance that's not genuine. That's not real. It's not true. Which is why I'm like, that close. I'm probably going to get rid of it. All right, so bash. So then the announcer gets on the phone or on the intercom or whatever, and this lady's like, before we introduce the founder and CEO of Bash, please remember to avoid direct eye contact, sudden movements, coughing, or negative facial expressions. And now, please welcome Sir Peter Isherwell. All right, Peter means father. Pater, padre, right? That's all the same word, means father. Ishar, essentially means God in a select language. And then well, right? The well God, one, right? But this guy's basically being seen as the God of technology. That technology is God. And I get that. Let me go back to what she was saying about bringing out the host, though. So before we introduce the founder and CEO, please remember, avoid direct eye contact. Why? Well, Mark Zuckerberg and crew don't want you looking into their soul. The eyes are the window to the soul. And many people are very uncomfortable with direct eye contact. I'm going to make direct eye contact just to make a point right now. They don't like it. Try to look somebody directly in the eyes and keep, in the black part of their eye. And see how it makes you feel, first of all. Because I promise you're going to get uncomfortable after a minute. And then see how often they actually look you in the eyes. People don't. Collectively, we're afraid. We're ashamed. We don't want to come face to face with the ultimate truth. Spirit, soul, energy, real being. So, these days, nobody looks anybody in the eye. People look all over the place when they're talking, but they will look anywhere but in your eyes. Please avoid sudden movements, coughing, or negative facial expressions. I'm going to let that one go. All right, let's continue on. Now they bring out these kids. Now this guy right here is the CEO. He might as well be Mark Zuckerberg, okay? And throughout this movie, anytime they want to introduce some new concept or whatever to get the people to like buy it or go with it or believe in it or whatever, they always have some kids come out. Why? Because they're playing upon your emotions. Oh, kids. These people are good with kids. They're around kids. Kids represent innocence and stuff. So this corporation must be innocent. They must have all of our best interests in mind. Nah, they don't. They're showing you, first of all, there's all kinds of bad things going on with people in top level and kids. That's all I'm going to say about it. But lots of bad stuff going on. Trust me. These kids have no business representing Facebook on this movie or whatever. These kids have no business. Let kids be kids. Leave kids alone. Okay? Have grown-ups and have adults do grown-up and adult things. Don't put kids up here, just to gain sympathy from the crowds or whatever. Not cool, man. I don't like how people and corporations manipulate children so much. So this guy gets up here, he's trying to sell his new cell phone, and he's like, and now all those years of work have come to fruition with Bash Life. Our new Bash 14.3 phone is fully integrated into your every feeling and desire, without you needing to say one single word. So if you're feeling sad or afraid, the Bash 14.3 phone, when set to the life setting, instantly senses my mood through blood pressure, heartbeats, and And then all of a sudden the phone. Okay, let me time out real quick. What is this guy saying? He's saying that the phone, the smartphone, is so intimately connected to you that it senses everything about you and it starts doing things for you. They introduce these benefits. So for example, here's one. Your vitals show that you are sad. This will cheer you up, Peter. Boom. Then they show some stupid TikTok video of like a puppy riding around on a rooster. And there's some song going, you are my best friend, you are my best friend. This is dumb. Okay? I don't care how cute it is. All right? I mean, to me, it's not even cute, but whatever. I know people have different tastes. This is stupid. All this is a distraction from what you are feeling. You have feelings. We feel things. We need to own those feelings, acknowledge those feelings, recognize those feelings, and ask, where are they stemming from? Am I feeling good right now? Great. Why? What's going on that make me feel so good? Am I feeling bad or sad or depressed or whatever? Good. Acknowledge it. Own it. Be about it. And research it. Figure it out. Do some self-diagnostics. Don't look at some chicken and puppy videos to just ignore your feelings so that your endorphins go up a little higher. That's ridiculous, and that's the world that we live in today. Puppies on the news or whatever. It also schedules a therapy session with a nearby professional so we can make sure that these sad feelings never ever return. Now, it sucks because this dude who's playing this weird... I don't want to say the word, but this weirdo, he was the wizard guy in Ready Player One. So I'm kind of sad to see him play this role because I hate this role. But anyways, basically he's saying that your phone will start scheduling you an appointment to talk to a therapist. Remember when we were breaking down that one movie, 1080X or whatever, I forgot what it was called, where they took those pills all the time? And all anyone ever did to the main character, every time he tried to look into something or research something, they're like, are you seeing a therapist, bro? Do you want to talk to a therapist? Bro, I know a good therapist, you know? They want us to talk to a therapist instead of our friends, instead of our family, instead of ourselves, instead of going over these things. We just sit there and other people take our money to just listen to us. That's messed up. This little girl's like, may I say something, Mr. Isherwell? Oh, snap. She went off script. He's like, no. No, you may not. You might ruin everything. You might throw $1 billion down the toilet right now. No, you may not talk. This is what he's thinking. Optimizing. So now he's behind the scenes talking about his presentation he just gave. And remember how I said these people are robotically minded? All they care about is the analytics. I'm going to tell you right now, I almost never even look at the analytics for my channel. Why? Because I don't care. I just speak from the heart. I do what I'd like to do. I speak how I like to speak. You know what I mean? And if people thumbs it up or thumbs it down, whatever, great. That's what you guys choose to do. But I don't look at all the analytics to try to tweak something here and try to perfect it there so that I can get like $1 million and 10 million subscribers and whatever. Like, I don't care. I'm not analytically minded in that way. When it comes to people, I care more about the heart condition, the relationships. Anyways, so he's talking about his very own presentation. He's like, I don't know if it's optimizing our prepubescent sense memory consumer sector. I find the bird quite threatening. And then they give him a picture of this comet that's about to hit the Earth. And then they sort of leave it at that, right? So they introduce this billionaire guy who basically is sort of like the Mark Zuckerberg, whatever his name is, of our world, right? So now these people are being told, you guys should get some good lawyers if you plan on leaking this to the press. And then Leonardo DiCaprio is like, how is it criminal if we just tell people, like the public, you know, what we saw? Like, how is it illegal if we tell them the truth? Well, bro, let me answer you. It's illegal because legality does not equate to morality. Ever. Never. So don't do that. All right. You need to understand. You need to accept that. Let that marinate. Legality doesn't equate to morality. Not one bit. Okay. It's all about policies. It's all about making money, and it's all about the exchange of currency, like we talked about. So this guy's like, make sure that this guy gets some media training before he hits the shows. He seems a bit slow. Some media training. You know what that means? That means that they want the people who are presenters in front of an audience, like myself, they want us to speak in the way that they approve of. They want us to only support their agendas. That's what media training means. So this girl's talking to her boyfriend. Remember the guy that wants to tell on the politician for getting aroused or whatever? She's like, listen, a comet bigger than the asteroid that destroyed the dinosaurs, which I don't think happened, but whatever, that's my own thing, is headed directly at Earth. Yeah, okay, let me mention this comet that destroyed the dinosaurs, okay? They always do that. They show a ball. They show the Earth as like this globular thing out in the vacuum of space floating around. And then some tiny little comet in comparison, okay? It's not like it's the moon sized or something, but regardless, some tiny little thing goes pow, and when it hits it, all of a sudden it wraps a fireball around the entire world. It's ridiculous to me. Anyways, so she's telling her boyfriend about it, and she's like, if it isn't deflected, then the whole planet's going to die. Then they zoom in on these guys for no reason whatsoever, just showing you the garbage. Talking about the end of the world, talking about a cataclysm and an apocalyptic event, and then they take a time out to make sure that you see the garbage truck and the guys collecting garbage. Remember, we've talked about this many times. This is the steampunk reference of whenever the world ends, all that debris from the tempest and the world storm floats back down and people go around collecting it. They go around on these missions to try to salvage what they can. That's why they show us this. So this guy's about to go on to this talk show called The Daily Rip, which is some morning talk show type thing. And she's like, yeah, you have really great facial structure. This is called kissing someone's butt so that you can get them to do what you want them to do. You catch more bees with honey or flies with honey or whatever it is, right? Now, these two are the co-hosts for this morning talk show that they're about to go on to tell the world, hey, you have 6 months to live, right? They're so plain. Now, this is so sad because it's called The Daily Rip. Like they're ripping, open news stories or whatever, but it's really R.I.P. Rest in peace every day. You're dying if you watch this crap. Like, there's parts of you just dying and getting worse. I'm sure you guys have seen the comment, very popular, that everyone thinks is so original. I'm losing brain cells just watching this. Well, you might be. Anyways, so this girl's like checking her boobs. She's like, are my ladies okay? How do I look? How do I look? That's all they care about. How do I look? How do I come across to other people, right? Putting on all the makeup and all this stuff, putting on these suits with ties. And what is that even about? What does the tie do? What is it for? That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And it's supposed to make you look so professional and smart. I mean, except for like maybe pulling someone around by it, like a slave, or, like having the peons of the world have a leash around their neck. I don't know. I don't get the tie. I think it's dumb. All right, Bree, I've got something for you today. Listen to this. President Orleans Supreme Court nominee, Sheriff Conlon, has now been identified as appearing in a softcore porn cable show. Right? So this guy's talking about the dumbest stuff. Who cares? Some guy was in some show or whatever. Everyone's like, oh my God, I voted for him or whatever. Dumb stuff. Go backstage, and this is who's going to be up next on their little news show. Okay? It's not really news. It's gossip. It's all gossip. And she's some singer, right? She's Ariana Grande, but she's basically playing herself, which is interesting. Called Riley Bina. And they're like, hey, you're going to be up next. And she's like, I get to talk about my new single, right? Like, I want to talk about my new single. A portion of the profits goes to the manatee sanctuaries. And she looks at her friends like, support me, guys, because a portion of my millions of dollars that I am eccentric with and spend on the dumbest things, a portion of that goes to something else equally dumb. Trying to save certain animals from extinction in the world. Stop. Why are you trying to save animals from extinction or whatever? They extinct themselves all of the time. And guess what? They come back. They're not gone forever. Okay? Even if all the elephants in the world just disappeared, one of these days, elephants would come back. Somehow, some way. I just know it would happen. Okay? But how gaudy are we to think that we need to save anything but ourselves? We're destroyed. We're empty. We have no energy, no gas in our tank, nothing. We're garbage, collectively. No offense. But we're not doing too great. So who cares about the manatees, okay? Look at humanity. Manatee? That's interesting. Anyways, look at humanity, okay? Look at us. Look at people. Look at humans. That's who we should be trying to save, but they're never going to. They care about, oh, I've got to save the manatees. Like, do you even know what a manatee is? And why do you care? Why is that important to you whatsoever? They live in far away. Anyways, I'm just going left on that one. Let's continue. Yeah, you can talk about that, but talk about the breakup first. Yeah, because you breaking up with your boyfriend is something that anybody gives a crap about. Nobody does, okay? It's not important, especially in comparison to this news, which is the world is going to end. And then you guys will come on and talk about that planet you discovered. And just remember, keep it light, keep it fun, right? Yeah, don't be serious. We don't want doom and gloom over here. We just want everyone to be in a constant state of chasing the carrot, right? Like, you know, when you have like a horse or something, or like you dangle a carrot in front of a rabbit, but they'll never catch it. That's how they want us, sedated, asleep. They want us to be sleepwalkers. And they want us to just keep it light, keep it fun. Don't talk about anything deep. Don't talk about anything significant. Philosophy is a bad word. Don't ever try to be philosophic. They don't like that whatsoever. Don't question life. Don't wonder about life. You guys discovered a comet? That's so dope. Yeah, I don't even want to talk to you. Like that, that would probably be my response. Because she's dim-witted. I'm sorry, but that's the character that she's playing. She's like, I have a tattoo of a shooting star on my back. Okay, good job, child. Good job, little girl. I like your pretty picture. You know, this is sad. These are the people that we look up to. These famous people, okay? I don't like that. I don't even want you guys to do that with me. Don't look up to me. Don't put me on some crazy pedestal or whatever. Nobody should have that. Nobody should get to this sort of a status where people care about what her vroom vroom army is doing to support her or whatever. It's dumb, right? I mean, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. But this is, God, this breaks my heart, man, because this is the world that we live in. All right, so I'm really grateful. Yeah, it's been really hard about the breakup, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, you're such an inspiration. It's incredible to so many, blah, blah, blah. Really? She's a singer. She's an inspiration. How? What do these people inspire within us? To just be famous? That's the inspiration? To have as many people know about you as possible? That's poor inspiration. That's not inspiring for me personally. Right? I don't aspire to have as many people know about me as possible. Shoot, I don't want that many people to know about me. People are weird and creepy and crazy, man. You want the whole world knowing who you are? Like, getting in your business? Nah. Anyway. So she's like, she starts talking to her boyfriend live on the air. She takes him back. And then all of a sudden, this is Dr. Mindy's family. They're at home. And his kids are like, whoa, Twitter just exploded. And so did, the other one or whatever. Basically, their social media just exploded because this girl just dropped the bomb that she's going to get back together with her boyfriend. This is the mindset. This is the idiocracy of the world that we live in. People don't care about anything except for what's popular. He's like, my phone just purchased DJ Cello's latest single. What the? It just did that without asking. Yeah, your phones will start doing stuff without getting your permission. Last night, okay, I have T-Mobile. And my phone that I have, without my permission, will do a mandatory update. I don't even know what it's updating. Neither do you, because you guys don't go and read all that fine print, page after page or whatever. And if you do, you're going to find some weird stuff, I promise you. But the phones and all the rest of the technology, they just do whatever it wants to do, which is what it's programmed to do, which is all a part of directing your flow of your life. Hey, regular absolution. What did he say? Good vibe tribe, level 4. Ooh, congrats, congrats. All right, let's continue on. There's a lot more to go here. He's like, I wasn't thinking straight. I made a mistake. This is all drama. Who cares? These are people you don't even know, okay? And these people in the movie represent actual celebrities and stuff like that, that many people out there in the world's population looks up to and talks about and cares about. I don't. I've removed myself from television for years now. I mean, I'll watch movies to break them down for you guys or whatever, but I don't do the news. There's no news on the news. Come on, you should already know that. That was obvious like at least 10, 15 years ago. Come on. She's like, oh, this is when the doctor gets on. So this is the big part. He's going to break the news. The comet is coming. Everyone's going to die. And before he's allowed to speak, this guy jumps in, right? He's doing witchcraft right now. He's doing spellcraft. He says, can I ask you something before we go any further? I have to know this. Now, it's a setup. He's coming at the audience with the guise of seriousness. Is there life out there? Bro, one, he's distracting from the message, okay? This dude might as well be a troll in the chat, okay? He's distracting from what's being presented, what's actually being spoken about. Is there life out there? Let me just go ahead and derail you from the frickin' beginning, right? This is one of their methods that they use to get rid of information, right? They try to get the person to talk about what they want to talk about instead of talking about the important stuff. All right. Where were we? So these two are very serious. This chick doesn't even know how to compose herself. She's not smiling, happy, chipper, or anything like the other people on the news. Notice how they all have little coffee mugs in front of them. There's your coffee symbolism again. And absolutely shocking, once in a lifetime discovery. I was monitoring exploding stars. And it's headed directly at Earth, and it really likely will hit the Earth. So now she just told everyone on national TV that this comet's going to hit the Earth. Now, listen to how the news people respond. Exploding stars, like stars actually explode? Because she said she was studying supernovas. She just said a comet's going to hit the Earth and destroy everything. And this guy's like, oh, yeah, let me rewind that to some non-important information. Exploding, like stars actually explode? Can it destroy someone's house? Is that possible? He's like, it would damage the entire planet, not just a house, you know? He's like, okay, as it's damaging, will it hit this one house in particular that's right on the coast of New Jersey? It's my ex-wife's house. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Everyone has a good laugh. Because they're idiots. Because they're dumb. Because they have lost their cognitive ability. By whatever means or methods, it's gone. So, anytime that they sense something that is impacting or truthful, it's like kryptonite to them. Okay? They sidestep it, they'll get around it, they want to duck under it, they want anything but the truth. But in all fairness, I actually paid for the house, blah, blah, blah. He's going on talking about this stupid joke that he made instead of the seriousness and taking to heart that the world is about to come to an end. So this chick, Kate, is like, I'm sorry, are we not being clear? The entire planet is about to be destroyed. He's like, it's just something we do around here. We just keep the bad news light. Keep the bad news light? Okay, there's a time and place for everything. I support that. But the world ending is not something to be taken lightly. It is happening. It is going to happen. There are signs in our world right now that are Mother Nature yelling, get ready, get prepared. It's on the way. It's coming. And it's been talked about for century after century. But Look at the times we live in now. We just live in an age of distraction and amusement. It helps the medicine go down. Does it really? It sounds to me like you're just totally ignoring the fact that the world does come to an end. All of your wonderful coffee cups and everything will no longer be around. Your television shows, all that stuff is going to go away. You will have to and be forced to, if you survive, live off of the land. You'll have to go find water to drink. You'll have to go find food to eat. You'll have to go build your own shelter. Now, to some, that's good news. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to go be a slave and make money in little pieces of paper all day long. But to others, they're terrified of that because they love their luxury. They love living in the lap of luxury and comfort because they live in the time of the gods. And this chick's like, well, maybe the destruction of the entire planet isn't supposed to be fun. Maybe it's supposed to be terrifying. Now, this is something I can relate to because I've been told by government people, right, that we shouldn't make the children afraid. We shouldn't make them afraid of by talking about the world ending. Excuse me, but yes, you should, okay? The world ending is something that you're supposed to be afraid of. It's supposed to put some fear into you. It's supposed to light a fire under your butt so that you snap out of your Barbie doll lifestyles and your Red Bull caviar dreams, and you learn how to survive, and you prepare, and you get ready for these types of things. I mean, you can if you want to. I'm not going to get mad if you don't, but it blows my mind. It blows my mind. Maybe it's supposed to be terrifying. Yes, because fear helps us to learn to overcome our fears. If somebody's afraid of the dark, good. There's good reason that you should be afraid of the dark. You don't know what's in there. There could be all kinds of monsters. Could be killers. Could be all kinds of weird stuff in the dark. You don't know. Could be all kinds of good stuff too. But the thing is you don't know. So that fear inspires us to investigate. And that investigation sheds light on what we were once afraid of, what we created in our own mind. We literally go turn on the light in the room, look around and see, oh, there's actually nothing to be afraid of. Or, hey, there was a robber in here. I'm glad I found you. Let me take care of my business now, or whatever it is. It's a good tool. That's all I'm saying. So she looks directly into the camera and she's like, we are all 100% for sure gonna fucking die. I love that. I love that. She's like, okay, you don't want to listen to the science. You don't want to listen to the math. You don't want to hear our words or even read between the lines. Listen, you're all going to die. The world, for the most part, is going bye-bye. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you. I share their exact same message, okay? Have I discovered some comment out there? No, but I do study the cyclical end of the world, and these things happen from time to time. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about it or investigate it. So they laugh it off. They're like, a spoonful of Xanax makes the medicine go down, right? Well, the handsome astronomer can come back anytime, but the yelling lady, not so much. Now they just turn everything into a joke. So the scientist is like, well, did what we wanted to say come across? And he's like, no, it's over. It's over. Like, that was it. You were great, but Mullet Girl, she probably needs some media training. Now, this is another thing, too. Whenever people don't know how to intellectually converse with one another, usually when they're backed into a corner or when they feel threatened or they're afraid, they resort to name-calling. Name-calling is a sign of an unintelligent mind, period. So the girl in the red dress essentially just acts as a distraction for the actual astronomer, and she tries to get in his pants for the rest of the movie, and she does. Then the truth, this is our media. This is your social media out there today. They take people who are truth seekers and try to share real solid information, and all the people who are afraid become little Agent Smiths of pop culture, and then they turn the truth seekers into this kind of stuff. They turn her into memes, and make fun of us. Okay, I'm gonna add myself in here with her. they make fun of us. They laugh. They call names. It's easier for them to do that than it is to address the subjects that we bring up, right? And they don't want that. They would rather shut us down by coming against us and rallying support from their teams of jocks, to pick on the high school nerd or whatever. So here's the one positive thing that they got. Somebody tweeted, Vegan Babe wrote, meow, me likey hunky starman. Wow. I mean, I've read comments on my channel that are similar to things like that, and it's not anything that I vibe with, okay? I don't know who these people are in the world, man, but it just blows my mind. The things that come out of these people's mouths. The bedroomized doomsday prophet. It's all sexual. People are so base. People are just base. That's all they can think of is entertainment, distraction, and sex. Because they're returning to an animal-like quality of life. Astronomer, they come up with these names or whatever. It says that their clicks, overall were below basic weather and traffic stories. So nobody's listening. There's absolutely no need. Why aren't people terrified? He's asking. What do we have to say? What do we have to do? We're trying to tell them, hey, the world's going to end. Why aren't people freaking out? And this guy, who's like the guy who runs the show, he's like, let's not bullshit each other. The bottom line is you guys told us the science is 100% and it's not. Now we look like idiots. And he's like, well, really? I want to talk to this person. You tell me who said that the science isn't 100%. And he goes, Dr. Jocelyn Calder, the head of NASA. Remember that one Chinese lady at the beginning who was like, hey, this is all top secret. Don't talk about it. She just came out calling it no more near miss hysteria. That's always what they do. Anytime there's some truth to something, they just say that the truth seekers are all hysterical. That we're just all crazy, out of our minds, none of us are intelligent. None of us are able, and then they always take our words out of context too. Everyone always asks me, when do you think the world's going to end? And I'm like, I will tell you, I don't know. Nobody does. But I do have a feeling about maybe something happening in 2024, because the government keeps talking about it. I don't know. I feel like something might happen. People take that thing that I've said out of context so many times that they're like, yeah, JayDreamerZ said the world's ending in 2024 or whatever. I'm like, nah, I have not said that. Anyways, this girl's flipping out. She's like, she's the one who told us not to say anything. He's like, more near miss hysteria. Is she even an astronomer? This girl who's saying this, the head of NASA, is she an astronomer? Let's research. Let's look this up, which is the title of the movie. It's not about looking up at the sky. That's a part of it. Okay. On one level, looking up at the sky is good, but it's about looking things up. Look up something means to research something. Okay. They don't want you to look anything up, and they're going to continuously say that. Your governments don't want you to look up anything, nothing at all. They want you to just be quiet, be subservient, and do whatever that you're told to do. So this guy's like, she's the head of NASA, but maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about. They put that badge on, they put that title on, and all of a sudden they're somebody instead of actually having works to prove it or behind it. Thanks, Irregular. So she's the head of NASA, but maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about. This is what I'm talking about. These talking heads, people put all this stock in NASA. People are wearing NASA clothing. Why? Because they support being told what to do by other people, being told what to think by other people. So they look it up. She's a former anesthesiologist and a President Orlean super donor. So basically, she has no credentials whatsoever to actually be the head of NASA. She just somehow is the head of NASA. What does she say? Once more, let's not be dramatic here. No. Let's be dramatic, okay? In this world of drama, these lights and stages, this illusion that we call life, right? That's all it is drama. Everything that all of the mainstream population is interested in is drama. And then yet, the second that something important comes up, the same people will say, oh, let's not be dramatic. Don't be so drama. Well, wait a minute. Isn't that your world? Isn't that where you come from? Don't you just love drama? So the boyfriend breaks up with her by posting some messed up articles, pretty messed up. Everybody starts to post stuff about the president taking naked pictures, like something got leaked. Now that is being blown up all throughout social media. And that's all the people care about. Oh, the president, there's a naked picture, this and that. Who cares? It's childish. It's dumb. It's stupid. Nobody cares, okay? I don't care. I mean, no, it's not true. Most people actually care, okay? I just don't. So this guy, who's now cheating on his wife, is like complaining about what everyone's saying in the comments section or whatever on his YouTube channel or whatever it is. She's like, you've been on that site a lot lately. He's like, yeah, I mean, I've got like 250,000 subscribers, honey. I got to use my voice. Now, you see that book right there? That's from the president. The same president that won't listen to him. He's reading her book. It's like, it's all circular. Oh, hey, what's up, Gina? That's cool. I hope you enjoy the pillow. She's like, well, I'm going to go for a walk if you want to come. So let's take a quick time out here. I think we're more than halfway done. I just wanted to point this out. This astronomer guy is so caught up in his end of the world, his discovery, getting on the news. He's starting to get famous, and he's letting that fame go to his head to the point where he's missing out on the whole reason life is worth living. It's for family. It's for love. It's for relationships. It's for having a good time with people that you care about. And that's why it's so important for people like myself to prepare, to get ready so that we can continue to have good times and barbecues and stuff with people that we love, people who we're close to. All right, so let's do this. We've been talking for a minute. I didn't know this was going to run on for so long. Let's do a quick break. Just as everyone can grab a drink or go to the bathroom or whatnot. And we'll come back. We'll finish up the movie and we'll run the credits. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do a break, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. See you guys in a bit.
Around the world men's thoughts will fly, quick as the twinkling of an eye, and waters shall great wonders do. How strange, and yet it shall come true. Beneath the water men shall walk, shall ride, shall sleep, shall even talk, and in the air men shall be seen in white and black and even green. For in those wondrous far-off days the women shall adopt a craze to dress like men in trousers wear, and to cut off their locks of hair. They'll ride astride with brazen brow as witches do. On broomsticks now there'll be a sign for all to see. Be sure that it will certain be. Then love shall die and marriage cease, and nations wane and babes decrease, as wives shall fondle cats and dogs, and men live much the same as hogs. Pictures alive with movements free, boats like fishes beneath the sea. When men like birds shall scour the sky, then half the world deep drenched in blood shall die. Then half the world deep drenched in blood shall die. For those who live this century through, in fear and trembling this shall do. Flee to the mountains and the dens, to bog and forest and wild fens. For storm will rage and oceans roar, when Gabriel stands on sea and shore. And as he blows his wondrous horn, old worlds die and new be born. Fiery dragon will cross the sky 6 times before this earth shall die. Mankind will tremble and frightened be, for the 6 heralds in this prophecy. For 7 days and 7 nights man will watch this awesome sight. The tides will rise beyond their ken to bite away the shores, and then the mountains will begin to roar, and earthquakes split the plain to shore, and flooding waters rushing in will flood the lands with such a din that mankind cowers in muddy fen and snarls about his fellow men. And when the dragon's tail is gone, man forgets and smiles and carries on to apply himself Too late, for mankind has earned deserved fate. His mask smile, his false grandeur will serve the gods, their anger stir, and they will send the dragon back to light the sky. His tail will crack upon the earth and rend the earth, and man shall flee, king, lord, and serf. And men will die of thirst before the oceans rise to mount the shore, and lands will crack and rend anew. You think it's strange, it will come true. And in some far off distant land, some men, oh such a tiny band, will have to leave their solid mount and span the earth, those few to count. And those surviving this will then begin the human race again. But not on land already there, but on ocean beds stark, dry, and bare. Not every soul on earth will die as the dragon's tail goes sweeping by. Not every land on earth will sink, but these will wallow in stench and stink of rotting bodies of beast and man, of vegetation crisped on land. And those that live will ever fear the dragon's tail for many years. But time erases memory. You think it's strange, but it will be. And before the race is built anew, a silver serpent comes to view, and spew out men of like unknown to mingle with the earth, now grown cold from its heat. And these men can enlighten the minds of future man, to intermingle and show them how to live and love, and thus endow the children with the second sight, a natural thing, so that they might grow graceful, humble, and when they do, the golden age will start anew.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Jeez, man, that was crazy. I'm having some technical difficulties, but that's nothing new here on my channel. Thanks for letting me know, everybody in the chat. Appreciate it. All right, so let's start that over. I hope you guys enjoyed the break. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it. Yes, I did have myself muted. Hopefully everything is back now. I'm glad you guys can hear me. All right, cool. So what was I saying? This girl's being made fun of. They're like, oh, you're all going to die. Joke's on you. You all are going to die. So these people, oh, thanks for the donation, Gina. I appreciate you. So anyways, they arrest her, right? For what? For telling the truth. And like I was saying, that's a part of prophecy. The truth seekers, those who share the truth, those who are independent researchers who look into and share the truth with other people, will be seen as the opposition to people in places like the government or other institutions like academics. They'll look at us and they'll see danger because we pose a threat to their power and their control. So the president starts to talk and she goes, I think it was Winston Churchill who, or maybe it was Bobby Knight, who said that the great labor of leadership. Wait a minute, time out. She confuses Winston Churchill with a basketball coach. So that's basically all of your presidents. I know you guys have all seen the clips of all the stupid things that presidents say. They're not the most intellectual people I've ever come across in my life. Ever. There's not been one. Not any of them have given me any kind of reason to believe in their credibility of having an intellect of any kind. Listen to George Bush Sr. or Jr. or any of them. Like, listen to what they talk about and the things they say. They stumble over their words so much they can't remember a damn thing if it's not written down and they're reading it off of a teleprompter. They have to be told what to say. They don't know how to respond on the fly. Real life. Anyways, so she confuses these two people. Now, I looked it up, and it was Ulysses S. Grant in his December 5th, 1876 report to Congress acknowledged the scandals engulfing his administration by writing that mistakes were made, as all can see, and I admit. So if you ever hear people say mistakes were made, that's where that comes from. Okay, it wasn't a basketball coach. It wasn't whatever. That's called research, so that we don't just believe it, you know. So this guy says, we had our scientist who went to the prestigious schools of Harvard, Princeton, etc. Let me tell you something. That's only prestigious to people like you who wear ties. Okay? That's not prestigious to me. The prestige comes from the work and the open-mindedness and the love and the kindness and things like that. Qualities that I respect, qualities that I look up to. That's what builds prestige in a place or a person for people like myself. Those are the types of people and institutions that I look up to, if there are any left. But I could care less about Princeton or all these schools that charge you $1 million. People buy stuff that's super expensive, whether it be their education, which is ridiculous, right? That they could have went to the library, got the same education for free. Instead, now they're making payments on it. People are getting jobs for years and years and years just to pay off the schools that they went to get jobs. Isn't that the most ridiculous, moronic thing you've ever heard of? Like, why do that? Why even go to those schools in the first place? And who cares about how prestigious they are? That just means expensive. So we're giving you guys a presidential apology. Shove your apology up your butt, President. That's what I would say. Like, who cares? I don't care that you put the word presidential in front of an apology. Plus, you're not even apologizing. Apologize means to make an excuse for something. You're not even saying that you feel bad. Like, hey, man, we messed up. We should have done the right thing, but we didn't. That's a real apology, and I feel bad. Hey, I feel terrible. Like, will you release me of this feeling? Like, God, I want to do better next time. That's a real closer apology, okay? That's a real asking for forgiveness. Here's another thing. In addition to looking somebody right in their eyes, next time you mess up, look into their soul and ask them to please forgive you. Ask, will you forgive me? Nobody does that anymore. Nobody asks for forgiveness. What was that? What did I just miss? Oh, Plasma Bear. Welcome. Good Vibe Tribe level 4. That's pretty cool. I didn't know Plasma Bear. That's a sweet name. All right. So he says, basically, we're going to mobilize in historic fashion in order to save the planet. And this guy's super excited, but she's reading between the lines. She knows exactly what they're saying. She goes, so basically what you're saying is you're about to lose the midterms because you got caught sending pictures of your cooch to your porn star sheriff boyfriend. So now it's to your advantage to act on the comment? Right. Yes, exactly. This is politics. This is your WWF political agenda that you guys all, not you as in like people who watch my channel or whatever, but just in general. This is what the world follows. This is what they believe in. They don't hear these behind the scenes talks that are being had. They just see the pomp and the glory and the show and the fireworks. And that's all they care about. So they're upset. They're like, oh my God, I'm glad at least you're doing something. Even if it's under the wrong, like for the wrong reasons, at least they're going to try to save the world, right? And they start crying. Now this guy starts to laugh at them. And this is another thing that society has been conditioned to do, is to laugh at other people's pain and misfortune. I stopped doing that a long time ago. The day I don't remember like what day it was, but I remember I was watching like America's Funniest Videos or something like that. And they showed this montage of people getting kicked in the balls. That's not funny. And like I laughed at first, but like I actually was processing it as I was laughing, and I kind of slowly stopped laughing. I'm like, that's not even funny. Why am I laughing at this? This is somebody's hurt, man. I feel bad for this person. So when all these times that people like have these videos like, oh, epic fails, you know, skateboarder lands on his face or whatever, it breaks my heart to watch that kind of stuff. But others, like this idiot, will just laugh all day long. Hysterically. Ha 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 ha. He got hurt. Ha 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 ha. He's just hiding. That's all. He's hiding real feelings. He's desensitized, as are many of us. So he says, people are going to ask why we didn't act earlier, so you're going to have to take the hit on this one. He's talking to the Chinese lady. And they're like, yeah, but we'll take care of you down the road. We'll take care of you. And she's like, I will resign in disgrace first thing tomorrow. And they're like, wow, really? Okay, that's just how they work. It is. They take care of their own. They have the good old boys club. They don't actually care about anyone. They just have this pretense that they do. They just pretend like they care, even about their own people. They don't. They're all selfish vampires. They will leech right off of their buddy right next to them, with a smile on their face, wishing them the best. Nah. And then here's your average family sitting here watching, what is this called? Jackpot Fiance, right? Look at these people. This is millions of people right now at this very moment watching some stupid, dumb, uninteresting, unimportant, unweighty things on television with just half-naked people showing that they're so shocked. Reaction videos, right? Oh, watch me react to this other guy reacting to this other girl. Oh my God. Oh my God, drama. Oh my God, they're kissing. Oh my God, I'm so glad they're kissing now. This is meaningless. It's zero on all scales. So they're like, we interrupt this broadcast of Jackpot Fiance for an emergency message from the President of the United States. Well, guess what? What you're about to see is equal to that. Anytime you see this, okay? Hey, Peter, thank you. I appreciate you. So the president gets on. As you can see, this is a stage. The stage has all been set up. All the world is a stage. All the men and women are merely players, actors. This chick's just acting. She's up there. This is what they really do. They look at there's a background, there's a backdrop, there's lighting. There's a lot of stuff that went into this. It's a stage that's being set up to manipulate your feelings, your emotions, and your energy. So she looks directly into the camera. Okay. This is the only time that they look into the eyes of anything is the camera, and only because they're not looking. It's false. It gives the impression that they're looking directly into your eyes, just like I am right now. Okay. I'm not looking directly into your eyes, but I give you the impression that I am. I'm actually looking directly into the eye of my computer camera or whatever, right? So I can do that. And there's way less feelings attached to that because I know that I'm looking at a robot right now, not a person. So they'll train them, look directly into the camera because this is all done, and like music will slowly build in the background. She's like an unprecedented comet, 9 kilometers wide, 9 from the sky. It's a spiral in the sky, coming from the sky. It's plasma apocalypse symbolism. Using decommissioned space shuttles and satellites, loaded with nuclear explosives, we will blow Comet Dibiaski off her course. Right? So that's her presidential speech. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, woo, America, yeah, freedom, or whatever it is, right? But think about what she's saying. Because I've talked about this on a few of my videos. I believe that the governments of the world and the space agencies of the world are the greatest doomsday preppers that there are. while they are while they are trying to get you not to look up, not to research, not to prepare for the eventual and inevitable end of this world as we know it, they're preparing. All of them. Many of them. I don't know. But they're preparing. They're getting ready for it because they survive. When they survive, their families become the ones who are in charge. And that's how the process continues. All right. So she's talking about being the savior to humanity. She's like, we're going to need a hero. Now they get this guy. I forgot his name, but he's Hellboy, basically. They get Hellboy up there. And he's like, she's like, he has a great voice. That's all they care about. It's all pomp and show. I hope that you all earn the extra living that my sacrifice gives you. And then this guy's like, I wrote that. Like, I wrote that part of the speech. He's bragging about it. She's like, isn't that from Saving Private Ryan? And he's like, no, that's something totally different. These people are not speaking from the heart. They're reading. That's all. They don't know how to speak from the heart. God, what would they say if they actually ever did speak from the heart? Then she gets worse. May Jesus Christ bless every single one of you, especially the honorable members of my own party. Isn't that typical? All of a sudden now she's like a moral, upright Christian believer or whatever. To most of those people. Okay. I hate it when people do that. When all of a sudden, like, this lady only cares about appearance and how she appears to others. She cares about how others see her because it will influence her life personally. It'll make her life better or worse, right? So all of a sudden now she's like, oh, I have some sort of moral standing, so let me throw Jesus's name out there. Really? I don't think so. Especially the members of my own party, right? This is like in sports, right? I just want to say, like, I hope God blesses our team. God really blessed our team to win the Super Bowl this year. And all praise is due to Jesus for helping us to win the Super Bowl. What you're saying is that Jesus hates the other team. What you're saying is that your God cares about sports. And which of you got the ball to the other side the most? What audacity do people have to think this about the creator of all things, the omnipotent, omnipresent, all powerful, everything, cares about who got the ball to the other side the most times and supported them? That's retarded. Anyways. All right. So then, of course, the media blows up. People are talking about it. Oh my God. So now all of a sudden I'm super interested in this comet. Oh my God, we're all going to die, etc. And it's like a running gag. It's not something that people actually take seriously. Otherwise, they always would have been. They wouldn't have waited for the government to tell them about it, right? Now people are selling shovels for ridiculous amounts of money, like $600 or something. Her approval ratings go through the roof. She's the president who's going to save the world. And this is how presidencies run. Typically, they come up with some drama right before re-election time. And they're like, you guys still need me. You guys, you really need me because, like, I'm going to get us through this brand new drama that just popped out of nowhere. And I had no idea it was even going to happen. I promise. But I'm going to get us through this. So make sure to re-elect me, right? Because I'll lose all of my benefits if I'm not re-elected. All right. So this is our culture in this day and age. Okay. The meme culture, the social media culture. Unfortunately, we're so far disconnected from one another physically, emotionally, and energetically that this is our reality now. This might as well just be real life to many people out there. Is the comet a hoax? Oh, of course, you're going to always have the naysayers, right? The people who just want you on their team, or people who are just have nothing to do with it, and they want to like they want to make a living off of like talking about it, essentially. All right, so the polls are going up. The new president is, way up there. Look at this, pro sports. See this magazine over here? They show you this one with Leo's face. But this one says, the end is near. Where will there be a Super Bowl? Is that even really a question? People will actually want to know stuff like this. Like whenever tsunamis hit and there's earthquakes in various places and there's wars and rumors of wars, people won't care about anything but, do you think they're going to have a Super Bowl next year? Because I got tickets and I was actually going to watch it this time for the commercials. I heard there's going to be some really good commercials. You know what I mean? This is the mindset of the people on this world today. All right, so this guy's invited back to the show. And they're all of a sudden the newscasters are like really serious. When they were light and airy before, all of a sudden the president gets on and now they're taking it to heart, right? Because that's all they care about is the prestige of the person who's talking. And they're like, I know your words are a great comfort to all of our viewers, Dr. Randall. And then he goes home with her, makes out with her. She's totally just distracted. And she's like, tell me we're all going to die. There's no love here. There's not a connection. There's no spiritual connection. There's nothing but lust. And this is what the world will throw at some of you the closer you get to the truth. Some of us are insulted. Some of us have to go through the trials and tribulations of being put down constantly, made fun of. Others will have beautiful men and women thrown our direction. And that's in the hopes that you'll just get distracted, that you'll get caught up in all the drama that comes with having, relations with the opposite sex. All right, so they cut to this shot of the tower. This is just some more pillar worshiping symbolism, not penis worshiping, pillar, as in the pillar of light that shoots out of the earth, etc. All right, did a whole video on it. Launch day, boom. They show you a close up of the pillar. Then they've got these. These are their escape pods. Okay, these are not rockets that they use to like go flying through the universe or whatever, cruising around the world or whatever. These are escape pods. Can't you see that? Like I can see that. This is what they will use one of these days. I promise you're going to see NASA and everybody. They're probably going to, say that they need to fight the aliens, that they found them, or, maybe there's something outside of our atmosphere. We got to blow it up or whatever the story will be. They're going to come up with a reason to make it make sense in all of our minds why they're shooting all these rockets up into the sky all of a sudden, all at the same time. And my theory is that they're going away. Like they're escaping. Anyway, so they're about to launch these rockets to go blow up the asteroid, just like in Armageddon, right? They're going to go shoot some missiles at it. They're going to go blow up the rock and save the world. Now, as they're watching in the Oval Office or whatever it is, the president of Facebook or whatever it is, Bash Life, Peter, he comes in. He's like, oh, hey, everyone. Hey. Oh, Bree, you look fabulous. Really? You walk into a room and you just pick out the pretty girl and you tell her she's pretty? Well, that's redundant and stupid. Why don't you compliment somebody else who doesn't expect a compliment? This chick will almost be offended if you don't point out and notice that she's pretty, right? I just don't see any point in it. So she's like, what's the president of Bash Life doing here? He's like, yeah, he's an Eagle Platinum level donor to the campaign. He has full clearance. Basically, he gives us lots of money, the most money, so he can go wherever he wants. He doesn't have to be political at all. He could just be a part of all of it because he could just pay for it. So now this guy took some ecstasy and he's like, oh, the Molly's kicking in right now. I timed that shit perfect, blah, blah, blah. This is what happens. These are real people, okay? In your world. Now they shoot the rockets. All the rockets are blasting off into space. We're going to save the day, etc., right? All the rockets are shooting off. They're going up. They're going. Yes. Excellent. Everyone's excited. This dude's throwing up the devil horns. Everyone's hugging. And all of a sudden the president of Facebook or whatever it is like, hey, Madam President, may I have a word with you outside for a moment, please? Why? Okay, so the president steps out of the office right after these rockets shoot up to talk to this guy about whatever it is he wants to talk to him about. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The rockets are going. They show it. Oh, wow. Look way down there at the Earth. The rockets are going up. All these people around the world start doing this, what they call hashtag launch challenge. They put rockets to their faces and set them off to support saving the world. This is idiocracy. This is the world that we live in today. Today, there are some stupid, dumb things happening where people are challenged to do dumb stuff. Stuff that's dangerous to your health. Remember the Tide Pod thing? That's a perfect example of this. These idiots are launching rockets right at their own faces for no better reason except somebody dared them to do it. Wow, I'm so glad I didn't have that peer pressure when I was growing up. So all these idiots around the world are shooting themselves in the face with rockets because they were challenged to do it. How about survival challenge? How about independent research challenge? How about I challenge all of you to go study and prepare for living off of the land in case the stuff hits the fan and you need to. I challenge all of you to go figure out how to detoxify water so that you can make it drinkable. I challenge all of you to learn how to plant one type of food in the ground that you can use to eat forever and have free food forever for all your family forever. I challenge you to do that. Are people going to do that and take me up on the challenge? Is it going to become popular? No. Tell somebody to point a rocket at their face and light it off. All of a sudden, that's popular. I don't get it. The world's upside down. All right, so the president comes back into the room and she's like, well, we've got some critical information about this comet that's going to hit. Now, this guy's watching the launch and he's like, it looks like it's turning around. Now, watch this dude in the background. He's like, no, it's not. No, it's just a course correction. It's pretty standard. I was in the Navy. This is how people talk. This is how people who think that they're intelligent talk these days. One, they'll say some stupid credentials like, I was in the Navy. I know all about this. No, you don't. Stop. What'd you do? Don't even do that. You know what I mean? I was in the Navy, so I know all about how everything works. Stop. So they're watching. And he's just making up BS. These people will support their governments and stuff to the death, man. They'll come up with all kinds of excuses so that the government doesn't even have to. The people will excuse them, right? They can't believe that that the wool's being pulled over their eyes. No, it's just a course correction. Oh, yeah. Those rockets aren't turning around. It's pretty standard. I was in the Navy. This guy keeps looking up, which is a metaphor for researching himself. And see how he's looking closer than this guy is? Right? With the binoculars? Anyways, he's like, nope, it's turning around. And the reporter's like, it seems to be some confusion amongst the crowd. Drask's ship is definitely turning around. Now check this out. So, do you see how it's like flipping around and going down like that? It's coming back to the Earth. I will tell you, if you do your own research and you look at any of these rocket launches, they come back down. They just go in a big arch. They shoot up, they go, and they come right back down. Because you can't leave the world. You can't leave the Earth. The Earth is closed. It's an enclosed, closed-off system. That's why it's pressurized. Okay? You have to have a barrier to have pressure, a physical one. You can't just have some non-existent make-believe barrier where like, oh, here's where the particles just kind of stop. And no, you have to have a physical object up there to keep pressure in. So yeah, of course, all these rockets, they go, oh, we're leaving. But then they'll tell you, oh, it's just a trick of the eyes. They're actually going way out there into space. Okay. You didn't get me with that one. All right. So this guy's like, does anyone even know what happened? Well, I just explained what happened. You can't leave the world unless it's the apocalypse. So it's not the apocalypse yet. That's the only time they can leave the world, is when the hole opens up in that barrier in the sky. So she says what the world thought was an impending and terrifying danger turns out to be an astonishing opportunity. We've discovered something truly miraculous. Now, you see right behind her, this painting that they chose to put in the movie? This is the Civil War. This is putting the people against the people for a select few's gain. And that's what they chose to represent her. And this guy can't stop staring at it. So he comes up and he says, and then we determined that this comet hurtling towards us from deep space actually contains 32 trillion of critical materials. So there's all kinds of expensive materials like gold and stuff on this comet, right? Almost $140 trillion of assets. Now, the president's son, right, with his vast intellect, responds and says, "Buck 40 trillion." Ah, right? What do these trillions of matters? What do these trillions of dollars matter if we're all going to die? Is what the scientist asks, right? And then he responds, "Oh no, what if we're all rich and we're safe?" They can't even fathom. This is idiocracy at its finest. So they show you this plan to launch, robots at the comet, drill into the comet, explode the comet from the inside. I don't think so, man. We do not have the technology that people think that we have. Okay? Cell phones? Yes. Blenders? Yes. Smart toasters and refrigerators? Yes. Launching something out there into space and landing on it and drilling a hole in there so that it deviates the comet off course and this and that? No. Okay? You can't even make a left-hand turn in a vacuum. At all. You can't. It's impossible. You can't do it. Okay? I'm not going to get into the physics of it right now, but if wherever you go, that's your trajectory. If you're in a true vacuum of space. Anyway. So they basically found all of this stuff. And then he says, humanity is going to stride through the pillars of Boaz and Joachim naked. Well, that's interesting because we've talked about those pillars on my channel before. And he says that we're going to go into a golden age between the two pillars. These are the Freemasonic pillars, Boaz and Joachim, right? Now, I believe, based on my research so far, looking at and researching and looking up things on old maps, here you can see that there was once land at the North Pole. This is the Arctic Ocean, or up here, okay? There was land that was divided by 4 rivers a long time ago. Whether or not it's there today, I'm not sure, but I know that it was on the maps, many of them. And the first globe as well. If you look up here and down here, you'll see that there are 2 pillars or mountains that are very high off to the sides. I believe there's also one in the middle, which I call the plasma volcano, and it may be that light shoots out of these ones as well. So that could be. That's just one of my theories that I have. So this girl who said we're all going to die, she goes home and then she's like, what, the door's locked? And the dad's like, or the mom's like, your dad and I are for the jobs that the comet will provide. They're so brainwashed. Yeah, like dying. like that's the job. So then you see this TV commercial. This is propaganda. I don't know if you guys know what propaganda is, but propaganda is lies and garbage that they spin and give to you to make it look really pretty to try to get your support for whatever they're doing. She goes, I worry about my kids and their future. See how they bring kids into it so that you'll jump on board? Oh, let's do it for the children, everyone. No, stop. Let kids be kids. I worry about our kids and their future. Sure, the jobs the comet's going to create sound great. Stop. No, it doesn't. There won't be any jobs. You'll all be dead. You see how they just put these words in your mouth? They speak for you. What if it's not safe? And then Leonardo DiCaprio gets on there, Dr. Randall Mindy, and he goes, right now, millions of you are having the same doubts and questions about the approaching comet. So we're creating a new hotline free of charge to answer all of your questions. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, one of our scientists. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. That makes me feel so much better. Can be that friend that we all need to lean on during uncertain times. So then they put this number up on the screen. If you would like, you may follow along with me as we call this number. This was supposed to be their hotline number for getting help about being depressed about the comet or whatnot, right? Let's give this number a call. What do you guys think is going to be on the other line? 532-4500. Got it. Boom. 1-800. I'm going to put this on speaker.
Welcome to America's hottest talk line. Guys, hot ladies are waiting to talk to you. Press 1 now. Ladies.
Goodbye. Yeah, that's literally a porn hotline that they put into the movies, full of children and stuff like that. This is on Netflix. You know, people are going to call that number, right? That is the counselor. That's what they want you to do. They just want you to be distracted by sex and violence and stupid things instead of intelligence. All right, anyway. So the scientist's wife comes home and she's like, wow, I caught you guys. You're totally cheating on me. And the chick in the red dress doesn't even care. She's like, can we just skip this part where, you know, you try to make us feel bad? And, you know, people are so insensitive and desensitized these days. Now, this guy's on the news. He says people want to manage the comet to create jobs. 23% don't think that there's a comet at all. So here's the problem. They can't see the comet. It's just all data, right? It's just you have to have a super powerful telescope to see it. So because they can't see it, because they don't have the physical evidence right there in front of them, they don't believe in it whatsoever. The reason that these people can't see is because they don't research. They don't look up things. They don't study. So they don't have the evidence that they would need to take action and to take a stand or believe it or believe in it or whatever. Now we've got some local hoodlums, whatever, outcasts, rebels, I don't know, whatever they're supposed to be. And they're in this store stealing some liquor. And they're like, whoa, you're the chick who said we're all going to die. And this guy says, can I touch your hair in a non-sexual way? Why would you even say that? Right? Why would you even say in a non-sexual way unless you already had some sort of indication that what you're about to do or what you're requesting to do is wrong? This is people, man. They think that just because someone's famous, like they lose their connection. Like, can I touch your hair? Wow, I touched the president's hair. I touched Michael Jordan's shoulder or whatever. Like, bro, that's weird and creepy. It's so weird, man. All right, so here's the robot that's going to land on the comet to blow it up. And he goes, I call it Primo. Primo, my boy, it's your father, Kronos. Ha, 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 ha. They have this stupid laugh. They don't explain that. They don't tell you, the viewer, who Kronos is or what Kronos is. Kronos represents the end of the world. Kronos is the hole in the sky god, that opens his mouth to suck up and eat all of its children down here on the ground, on the earth, when the world depressurizes and the tempest is created and things get sucked up into the sky. Or people call it the rapture or whatever. Don't be shy. Come on. You're going to be a god in the sky. Now, it's interesting because he's talking about the technology or whatever, but we'll come back to that. Now, this is the part where the Dr. Mindy, he's starting to worry because all his colleagues have been fired for asking questions. No lie. They're asking questions, so they got fired. So he says, I've got a report here from Dr. Inez. Listen, a lot of my colleagues, they've either been removed or reassigned from this project, apparently for asking too many questions about this mission. So I just want to make sure that you're open to the scientific peer review process and that you're not approaching this mission like a businessman. The scientific peer review process. This is pretty important. That means that you're open to listening to other people, regardless of whatever their prestige, their name tag, their titles, their badges, their certificates, whatever it is, peers, anybody. You should be able to be open to hearing what they have to say and comparing their evidence and their research and their tests and stuff or ideas or whatever it may be to your own. That's fair. But he says, I feel like maybe you're approaching this more like a businessman. And this guy says, what did you say? I love that. When you call someone what they really are, they always get offended. Every single time. What did you call me a businessman? He's basically the richest person in the entire world. So he goes on. Remember, he's basically the leader of Facebook or whatever. And he's like, well, you do own a corporation. He's like, you think you know me, doctor? Do you know that Bash has, Facebook, has over 40 million data points on you, on every decision that you've made since 1994? But much more importantly than that, I know what you are. I know who you are. My algorithms have determined 8 fundamental consumer profile types. You're a lifestyle idealist. You think that you're motivated by beliefs, high ethical beliefs, but you just run towards pleasure and away from pain, like a field mouse. Now, this is pretty true. Okay, there's a lot of truth being said here. But remember how we were talking about when we broke down They Live, we were talking about how there's algorithms and whatnot that they use when they shock the prices of things to determine and predict what will actually happen in our personal lives, how we are most likely to respond, what directions we're going to go in, even how we'll die. That's powerful. And that is what doing your research can get you. All right, so we're back at the backyard of the Burger King or whatever it is, where all the skater people are just chilling before the world ends. Burger Crown. They're all just chilling. Oh, and then this girl says, I heard that the president of Bash Life built an underground bunker for him and all of his executives. No. I heard that they built an escape ship. Well, that's interesting. There's this rumor that the elite of the world have some sort of plans for escaping the world when this apocalypse happens. They're talking to you. All right, so they're like, screw it, let's just make out. Might as well just get some sort of something in there since we don't know how to survive, essentially. So he's on TV once more. He's starting to get frustrated. He's like, he's talking about the scientific peer review process. And then this guy interrupts him. And he's like, well, hold on. Well, if Bash's stock, and then it's like, wait a minute, what? If Bash's stock is any indicator, we don't have to worry about the peer review. Really? You don't have to worry about what all of the other regular people have found? What they're researching? What their experiences are? All we have to do is listen to Carl Sagan or Bill Nye the Science Guy clown. Or, whoever it is, the bobbleheads on TV. All we have to do is listen to those gods. People. Whatever they are. So she's like, well, let's go to a commercial. You look like you're upset. He's like, no. Don't cut away. Let me say something right now. Would you please stop being so damn pleasant? I'm sorry, but not everything needs to sound so goddamn clever or charming or likable all of the time. Yay. This is how I feel, right? I as somebody who's a YouTuber, I have felt the pressure to be likable all of the time. I have felt that. And sometimes it's got to me. Honestly, I hate it. I can't stand it to a certain degree. You have to be likable to make money or to be popular or to have all the numbers and subscribers and stuff because it's all an algorithm. Hopefully we can use that type of information against this system. Push it back their way. So not everything needs to be likable all of the time. Sometimes I'm not super likable, as we've discussed. Anyway, excuse me. He says, the fact that there is a huge comet headed towards Earth. I'm just telling you the effing truth. This would be a good time to establish that Isherwell, the Facebook guy, and the president have both said that there are benefits. He's like, right, well, the president of the United States is fucking lying. I love that part. He loses his mind. He's like, all right, forget this. I don't care what they're paying me. I don't care about this girl over here. Like, I'm just going to tell you straight. And in this day and age, how dare, he must be racist. Oh my God, he must not like gay people or something. Like they'll come up with something. Anytime somebody comes right out and calls a spade, they've got all kinds of insults to throw right back at him. So he looks up, he sees the comet. He starts telling everyone, look, you can see it. There it is. It's right there. Everyone starts to look up. They're like, whoa, check that out. She's like, go outside. Go look on your roof or your sidewalk. You can see the comet. It's literally right there. Just look up into the sky. Now, this is on one level telling us, pay attention to the sky. Okay, when it comes to like the end times and to the world ending and stuff like that, it's very important because there's a lot of signs and omens that happen up there in the sky. It's electromagnetic in nature. You're going to see a lot of activity up there as the closer that we get. Okay, and that's why comets have always been harbingers of disasters and things like that happening, because as above, so below. When you see changes happening above the world, you're going to see changes happening on and below the world as well. So they're also telling you to look up. Go out and look for yourself. Look things up. Research for yourself. The star is going to appear fuzzy. There's a long streak coming from it. Now, I'm working on my own ideas about what I think comets are. They don't really move that much, if at all. They look like they're actually a part of the sky itself. And I'm leaning personally, just at the moment, I'm leaning more towards they're like little fissures up there, little holes or something, and maybe in like the first dome or something, or I don't know. And then that tail is actually like plasma or energy leaking out of the barrier that's up there. I don't know. Could be. Might not be. So she's like, just look up into the sky. Go look for yourself. We have proof. Go look for yourself. Go check it out. Don't just take our word for it. Go use your own eyes to go look it up. Now, they start this movement where everyone's like, just look up. Just look up. They're begging everyone to go use their own eyes to go look up. I'm begging you. Use your own eyes to go look things up, to go research, to go find out the answers for yourself. You have access to, some of the greatest technology that we've ever had for a very long time. Use it to your benefit while you can. Instead of just Googling like, hey, Google, what's the most popular movie out right now? Or whatever. I don't know what people, look up or whatever. But use it to research. Use it to find out the things you've always wanted to know about. Use it to learn something. Independently. Don't just get on popular sites and stuff, but go get your hands dirty, research for yourself. Anyway, so this guy gets on Sesame Street, basically. She's like, Dr. Mindy, the president's plan to save the earth and make it so we can all have a home is going to work, right? He's like, every single man, woman, and child on this planet is going to die. Tell your parents that President Orlean and Ishwell are sociopaths and fascists. And he loses his mind on Sesame Street. I think that's great. You see how they put these kids in there because they wanted the kids to be there to try to coerce the people to believing in their agenda. This guy's like, kids or no kids, I don't care. I'm telling the truth. Let me look the camera right in the eye. Wow, he's got little tiny pupils. Look at that. Or iris. Is that pupil? Yeah, pupil. Anyways, so meanwhile, while he's on the media telling everyone to look up, the exact opposite is happening, where she, the president of the United States, is on the media telling everyone to look down. She says, you know why they want you to look up or look things up? Because they want you to be afraid. Now that's called fear porn. That's actual real fear porn, talking about fear and how other people want you to be afraid and stuff. They do this. It's so hypocritical. They do it all of the time. The governments will accuse the truth seekers of, harnessing a bunch of fear porn tactics or whatever. Meanwhile, they're telling you that there's nuclear bombs in Saudi Arabia and they're going to blow us all off the map. So we have to go in there and invade. Meanwhile, what we're really doing is we're going to go invade their underground ancient libraries with all this information and historical records, and we're going to steal it all. So she goes on and says, because they are looking down their noses at you. See how they twist everything politically? They think that they're better than you. No, this is the exact opposite. This infuriates me, man. These people will lie. They will tell the exact 180 degrees of truth. This woman thinks that she's better than you. And that includes your presidents, your kings, your queens, whatever you have that you voted for or didn't vote for or whatever the case may be. She represents all of those people. And she says they think that they're better than you. The reality is all of these types think that they are better than you. And they work hard to be better than most of you. Meaning that they're out there accumulating their wealth, probably preparing for the end of the world. I'm not saying they all do that or anything, but what are we doing collectively? How are we harnessing our power of the masses? They want to rob you of your freedom. That's a fact. So they develop all these people, have their support behind them and whatnot. This always happens. It's inevitable. You're always going to have factions develop, sides develop. Some people will say, look things up. Some people will say, don't look things up. Just trust in what the talking heads tell you on TV. Just trust in the government. Some people will say, no, the government means mind control and it's actually there. It's against you. And, and there's always going to be division. Then they come out with a movie about it. The world is literally going to end. They make a movie about it, so it's a truthful, honest movie. This guy is like, look up, look down, it doesn't matter, let's just all get along or whatever. But they show you in this movie that they put the truth into the movies. You see that? So she's all excited, doing her little WWF strut or whatever. She's got her hat, don't look up. And then she's got the people chanting. They're lemmings. They will say whatever somebody else says. They will do whatever they see the person in front of them doing. So then we go to this concert by Ariana Grande. The for real last concert to save the world. Like the for real one. This is like the for real last concert. God, I can't stand how people talk these days. Anyway. So this guy's back over here at his little gathering. And he's like, there are you, the working class. Us, the cool rich, and then them. I'm sorry, but we need them because you build us up to fight them. Ooh, that's interesting. The working class, the lower. You understand? And then his mom, the president, is like, no, I don't get it. They don't even care. Like they're so in your face about their mistakes or their unintelligent aspects or perceptions or whatever. They don't even care because we have been so dumbed down. Nobody's going to do anything. If anything, it'll just be fodder for gossip. And that's it. That's as far as it goes. Controversy. That's it. None of us independently, individually, or collectively do anything about any of this. I don't know why I'm doing all that. All right, so he's like, I'm talking about the nutritionists. I'm talking about personal trainers, people at the spa, not just the ones that check you in. They're not like the masseuses, but they walk you down the corridor. This guy is just retarded. He's insulting the people. The people almost love to be insulted. Blows my mind. Why? Because it's the truth. They're just like, yeah, you guys are stupid or whatever. Then people will get to the point where they're like, yeah, that's right. We need you. We're stupid. So tell us how to live our lives. Yeah. Thank you. That's where it's going to be one day. So she starts doing some concert as they all do. And they've got the rapper up there. They got the singer up there and they're trying to convince everyone of something that's so heartfelt and emotional. They're doing the exact same thing. In case you haven't noticed, I don't take sides. Either one of them. I think they're both wrong. And they're both right. I mean, I'm more of a neutral person. But her lyrics say, get your head out of your ass. Listen to the goddamn qualified scientists. What? The qualified ones? Well, in the movie, she's talking about like the ones that she supports or whatever. The ones that said, hey, the comet's going to be there. The same scientists that she insulted earlier in the movie and didn't even care about when she's like, oh, I have a comet tattoo like on my back, right? She didn't care. This is all fake. It's all pretense. Okay. All they care about is their ticket sales. All they care about is their fans and their subscribers. And make sure you hit the like button and all this other dumb shit. Excuse my language. Listen to the goddamn qualified scientists. No, don't. What qualified? And there should be no qualification to be a scientist. The only qualification there is to study. That's it. To learn. That makes you a scientist. You know what the qualification is to be a chef? Go cook something. It's really that simple. You don't need a college degree. You don't need any of this stuff. You don't need to go all the way to the Wizard of Oz to have him hang a friggin' diploma around your neck. Whatever you do, that's what you are. I don't care how, stop comparing yourself to others and their approvals and their pats on the back that they give themselves. You can call yourself a scientist if you research and study and learn. That's what a scientist is. If you test out things to try to, see what the outcome is, that's science. You are a scientist. If you cook, you are a cook. It's pretty simple. You don't need approval. Blows my mind. And I hear people too all the time. They're like, I'm not a cook or anything. And they'll insult themselves. They'll put themselves down because they're so used to the world doing that to them. Anyways, I am a scientist. I am a cook. I am a Renaissance man. I am a survivor. I am a prepper. I am a doctor, believe it or not. I don't need a doctorate. I don't need any of that, any of the paperwork. Okay? A doctor, a healer. That's literally what my name means. I'm a healer. I can call myself I give you all permission to reference yourself as any of these titles that other people feel that they need a diploma, a doctorate, a certificate, or any sort of approval from somebody else for. As long as you actually practice whatever that is, that's what you are. Anyways, so she's like, just look up, and it's all fancy, and there's music and stuff. Turn off the news. That's good, actually. That's good advice. Everybody's about to die soon, blah, 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 blah. Then they're having theirs, and they say, don't look up, right? Don't look up. They're all chanting. This guy looks up. And they're all like, mine the comet. Let's mine it for jobs. Yes, the comet's going to provide jobs. It's on its way to kill everybody. This guy looks up, and what does he see? Oh, damn, there is a comet. It's right there, right above us. They lied to us. So this guy looks something up. He looks up himself symbolically. He does his own research. He uses his own eyes to check out something to see if it's true or not. And what does he find? They lied to us. Wow. Surprise, surprise, surprise. The president just texted me. Hold on. She says, don't trip. It's all good. Don't trip. That's so far from being intellectual. And that's how people talk. Blows my mind. You know what? It's fine. It's totally fine. It's spellcraft, just so you know. At the core, it's spellcraft. But that's what we're headed back to anyways. The old ways are returning. So now we have some rockets that they're about to shoot up into the sky again. These rockets are going to fail utterly again because in real life, what they're representing is you cannot escape the Earth. All of the world's elite want to escape. They know they don't like it here. They know they're trapped in here. They know that they age faster in here. They lose their immortality and special powers and stuff. So the president's like, hey, remember how you told that guy that you could predict his death with your algorithm? Tell me what mine is. He says, you're going to be eaten by a brontorok. We don't know what it means. I know what it means. Some strange sounding animal that's alien to this world she's going to get eaten by. That's called a Fantazoid. So this guy gets on the mic, addresses the whole world. What up, world? Jason Orlean, Chief of Staff, United States. I just want to give a prayer for stuff. There's dope stuff, like material stuff, like sick apartments and watches and cars and clothes and shit. That could all go away. And I don't want to see that stuff go away. So I'm going to say a prayer for that stuff. Amen. Do you hear the utter... right? In how he's speaking? That's I mean, I could care less about how the actor speaks or whatever. That's how most of this world speaks. One, he didn't even say a prayer. Okay? All he said is that we have lots of comforts of life that I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose my comforts of life. I don't want to lose my benefits from the government, from the controllers above me. And that is the main reason why they don't like to hear about the apocalypse. The apocalypse takes away the power. The apocalypse resets the playing field. They don't like that. They don't want to hear about that. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to lose their stuff. So inevitably, these rockets also come crashing back down. They're not working. He's like, oh, we anticipated a margin of error. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. That's what they always tell you when nothing's fine. When everything's all screwed up and messed up and the stuff's hitting the fan, they're going to tell you everything's fine. Meanwhile, they're going to leave the room and go somewhere safe. Now, the cool thing, this is really the highlight of the movie. Even though this guy totally cheated on his wife and she admits that she had cheated on him like a long time ago or whatever, they make up. They make amends. They all come together as a family. They start making dinner together, and that's how they're going to spend the end of the world. Meanwhile, Facebook, Bash, whatever you want to call it, is their rockets are just being destroyed left and right. It's not working out the way they thought it would. And she's like, okay, all right. These guys are enjoying a nice meal together. During their last moments, they're appreciating life, which is connection with other people, connection with other spirits, other souls, and love. Always what it boils down to. So they're cheersing, they're having a good time, sharing a meal together, which is what we're doing right now. What you guys in the chat are doing right now. When you talk, when you exchange information, you're sharing a meal. So if I was to give any advice whatsoever, and it's advice that I'll try to take myself, cook a good meal. Make something delicious that someone else is going to savor when they try it out. This is when you're having your conversations, whether it be an exchange at the grocery store or at church or at your jobs or with your very own family. Cook something delicious for other people to try. All right, so the comet is hurtling back towards the Earth. It's going to totally crash into the Earth. I'm not going to get into, if the shape of the world and what the cosmology is and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. What matters and the important thing behind this movie is not how the world ends, but that it will end, okay? There's many different theories and different ways or whatever, which probably all of them will happen at the same time, if I was to guess. But it doesn't matter. Stop arguing about these little details about like, well, I think that the Earth is this shape and I think that the Earth is going to end this way and you don't think that. So let's find some common ground. Okay? The fact is the Earth goes through cyclical cataclysms all of the time, and it always has. And if we look close and we look up things ourselves, we'll find the proof is all around us. It's everywhere. It's in the geology of our world. It's in the books and the ancient writings. It's all over the place. It's even ingrained in our subconscious, which is why we make movies like this and why we write songs about jumping on a trampoline, getting sucked up into the sky and fire coming down and all kinds of crazy songs. Or as REM says, right? This is the slip that brought me to. My knees failed. What if all these fantasies come true? So they're all sitting there. They're having a great dinner, huge meal. Everyone's just hanging out with everyone, enjoying their company. This is life. Spending quality time with people that you care about, having a good meal together and sharing. So they say, yeah, it's really good. It's really good to have you home. And he's like, I love you. And she's like, I love you too. This is the best. In my mind, that's the moral of the story. This is what life is about. Loving, developing relationships with people and caring about other people, giving away to people who you have feelings for. And then they give away to others that they have feelings for. We help instead of hinder. We give instead of take. We share. That's life. That's really living for me. All right, so all their stuff in NASA or wherever this is just going to crap. It's all falling apart. They don't know how to fix the problem. And he's like, President Xi of China says that the comet is still whole. It's totally intact after they tried to blow it up. And he's like, oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, it's fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine. It's like, bro, are you talking to yourself or are you talking to everybody else? He's fine. Excuse me. Sorry about that. He's fine. You know why? Because he has an escape plan. But he's trying to tell everyone else, don't panic. Why? Because he needs a clear path to run and to get to wherever he's about to go. He's like, excuse me, I'm just going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'm just going to the restroom. And the president is like, yeah. I have to go to the bathroom too. I'm also going to leave the room. Her son's like, oh yeah, don't worry. She'll come back. Yeah, he's a chip off the old block. All right. So the president makes a call to the scientist and she invites him. She's like, hey, we have a ship. In case something went wrong, and clearly it went wrong, we have a ship where we're going to leave the earth and escape, just like I talk about. And he's like, of course you have a ship. She's like, it holds 2,000 people, and it's a state-of-the-art cryo chamber. It's set to find the nearest Earth-like planet in a Goldilocks zone. Now, let me tell you the truth of this, okay? The truth is they're not going to leave anywhere unless they know where they're going. Okay, so the movies might portray it like, oh yeah, it's just, going to run on artificial intelligence and just drop in on some warm Earth-like planet. No, I don't believe that. I believe that the elite study the stars, they study the skies, they study the ancient manuscripts and writings that talk about how to traverse the heavens and where to go when you're out there in the heavens so that you can find another habitable place. And that they're preparing to do so. There's room for you and another person. And he's like, nah, I'm good. Have fun with your son, Jason. And she's like, oh my God. She totally left her son on Earth while she's escaping. She doesn't even care about her own family. So the comet comes hurtling towards the Earth. These people are living out their final moments in love and peace and friendship. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is just going nuts. They don't even know what to do. This guy loses his green screen background. This guy's like, of course, there's only one big story everyone's talking about tonight. Topless urgent care centers. Even to the bitter end, they're still trying to distract you from what's right above. This is actually a scene from the top down. They only show this for a moment. And I don't want to zoom into it or anything, but this is a rooftop where I thought it was like a party, like an end of the world party. This is literally an orgy. This is just all kinds of people just going to town on all kinds of other people. And that's, what are people going to do? What's important? That's the question. What makes life worth living to you? Because if you want to know, ask yourself, what would be your last wish? What would be the one thing that you would like to do for an hour or however long before the world ends? Where would you like to be? What would you like to be doing? Not saying that you'll die or anything. I'm just saying it tells a lot. It's very telling about us. So they're watching the world come to an end. The comet comes crashing in. The water gets sucked up into the sky. That's an interesting part of it because I believe that does happen. They're continuing on, just having a nice meal together. The rest of the world, that definitely looks like an eyeball right there. The rest of the world blowing up. The shamans, they're like having their final dance and stuff. This is the fire from the heavens. Fire does come down from the sky. Or plasma comes down from the sky. And it, all of the prophecies are true. All of the old stories are all true. They all have elements of truth. So this is the last thought of the doctor's mindful or whatever, Leonardo DiCaprio's mind. His last thought is, the thing of it is, we really did have everything, didn't we? We really do have everything. As a matter of fact, we might have a little too much. Too much of a good thing is never a good thing. Everything in moderation. So Mother Earth helps us out, and she resets things from time to time. So now we go to like the credits scene or whatever. This is like a piece of the Earth that blew off or whatever. If you look over here, you can see what looks like the North Pole, and there's a storm like with a huge eye of a hurricane or something over there. That's pretty interesting too. Let's see. Then we've got the technology goes away, right? The technology gets sucked up into the sky, falls back down. It becomes pretty much useless. The lyrics say wins the rapture. That's pretty interesting because everything got sucked up into the sky. Then there's this golden calf right behind my head, floating around in space. The golden calf represents all of life's luxuries that we all take for granted, that we worship, that we put ahead of everything else. So then you see this spaceship blasting off. This is the arc that people get into, that the elites get into to go to this other world or whatever. And then they show you the spaceship blasting off, flying through space. They show it going through all these galaxies. 22,740 years later. Well, the reason that they could be alive after that much time, I don't believe has anything to do with cryogenics, as they use that excuse in the movies often, because they don't understand the qualities and the atmosphere of what's actually out there in what they call space. Okay. The gods live out there in the heavens. Okay. Those beings that are immortals and eternals, or whatever you'd like to call them, their lifespans are lengthened once they get past the barrier of this pressurized world. So it's highly possible it could be 22,000 years later and they're perfectly fine. All right. So they land on this planet. They come down. This planet probably just had its own apocalypse, if I'm guessing. They land. It looks like a garden. Everything's really pretty. Everyone's naked. I don't know why they're naked, but whatever. Everyone's naked. They get out, and he goes, oh, the oxygen actually is higher than on Earth by 9%. There's the number 9 again. The reason that the oxygen... Hold on, I want to see all their butts. The reason he talks about the oxygen content being higher is because after this apocalyptic scenario, when the world depressurizes, I believe new elements are created. And one of those elements is oxygen. We get an influx of fresh oxygen in this world. So our oxygen levels will go from very small, very little, to a lot. And then he responds and says, so you might feel a bit lightheaded. And you might, too. So the president chick walks over to these Fantazoids, and she's like, oh, are those feathers? Are those scales? She goes to try to pet it, right? And it totally eats her face, and she dies. And this thing just makes a meal out of her. And they're like, whoa, that's disgusting. What is that thing? And he goes, I believe it's called a Brontarock, because that's what his artificial intelligence and his algorithm predicted she would die from a Brontarock, right? That's a Fantazoid. That is an otherworldly space creature, whatever you want to call it, animal, monster, or whatever. And he says, whatever you do, don't pet them. I've said that for quite some time now. Please do not pet the Fantazoids. Like, you might see, after the apocalypse, you might see some weird and beautiful and strange creatures, unicorns, whatever, whatever they may be. Don't get so used to having pets in this comfy lifestyle that we live in now that you think that that's going to be okay in the post-apocalyptic world. All right, so they've got the coffee cup up there being sucked up, all of the technology. Now this guy in the post-credits scene, he actually survives. He's in the post-apocalyptic world. See how everything is red? See how it's kind of rusty and orange? That's because the colors switch. The light switches direction in our world, so the sky is no longer blue. It's gonna be red until the next apocalypse, or orangey red. It depends on your location and your latitude in the world. But yeah, orange, reddish, depending on where you are or how close to the blue beam you are, it might be other colors. So he's looking around and he's like, oh no, oh man. And I think he yells for his mom too. Mom! Yeah, of course. Right? He's used to like being a kid and having his mom just give him everything instead of learning to grow up and be grown and to be self-sufficient, right? They're all children, even if they have beards or whatever. It doesn't matter. Mom! He doesn't know what to do. So he gets out his phone and starts making a selfie YouTube video. What's up, y'all? I'm the last man on Earth. Shit's all fucked up. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here. And then it zooms away. And that's sad because that's probably going to happen. There probably will be somebody who just thinks that they should just record a selfie video and tell people that don't even exist to like and subscribe because they've had that pounded into their brain every single time they watch a YouTube video. So you don't have to do that on this video. You do whatever you like to do, whatever you want to do. And I'm just going to go with the flow. All right. So that was the movie breakdown. Wow. That one was way longer than I anticipated. So I'm really sorry about the length of time. That was probably longer than the movie, I'm sure. One of my goals is to make these movie breakdowns a bit more condensed because I know not everybody can watch the whole thing. But on the other hand, some people would rather watch the movie breakdowns that I do than to watch the actual movie. And that's okay with me. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tell me what your favorite parts were, or if you learned something, in the comments. And I'll see you next time. I'm going to take off. Until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.
I'll try so hard to fade away. I'll try so hard to fade away. But something's forcing me to stay. It'd be easier for me if I turn away to flee. Oh, but there's something holding on, the way of being long gone. There's so many ways to escape, but I guess it's time to wake up, time to wake up. Far too many ways to escape, but I guess
Yggdrasil!